going to go ahead to record. All right, so the session is going to be recorded. So even if you miss a bit of it, you will still get access to the recording of the session. So all I need from you next 2 hours, guys, is literally for you to listen. That's what you need to do. You don't need to pick up anything. You don't need to jot anything. You'll get access to the recording of the session. All right. All you need to do is literally just listen. That's all I need you to do. All right. Now, we are currently, a majority of the people trying to transition into the tech space are looking at how they can get, remote job, remote opportunities, and so on and so forth. And that's essentially what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to do a bit of an introduction about myself, then I'll bring in Adeza also to do his introduction, then I'll continue with the session. All right, so my name is Ifemena Epro. I am the co-founder of Analytics. I have close to a decade experience working across different roles within the data ecosystem. So I worked as a data analyst, I worked as a data scientist, business systems analyst, I worked as a data engineer, BI analyst. So my experience has spanned different roles within the data ecosystem. And I've also worked across different industries, medical technology to financial technology to consulting and so on and so forth. Okay, and really that's like that's my experience. And most times when people hear about my experience, they're usually like, oh, I must have had like I must have started or had a degree in computer science or whatever the case is. But unfortunately, I don't have a degree in computer science. I have a degree in economics. So I didn't do anything close to computer science when I started, before I transitioned. So I did economics in undergraduate. I started working as a management consultant. I saw the need to transition to move from management consulting to the tech space. So I leveraged, different platform back in the days in order for me to learn. And I was able to transition into the tech space. So it took me about 2 years to transition. And the key question I kept asking myself, or myself and Adeza, the key question we kept asking ourselves was, should it have taken us 2 years to transition into our desired role? Okay, into the tech role that we're looking at for 2 years, all right, of learning, learning all over the place. So the key question we kept asking ourselves, should it have taken us 2 years to transition into our desired role? And the answer was no. Hence the reason why we gave birth to analytics, to see how we can get more Africans into the tech space under a shorter period of time, under a structured learning approach. And that's exactly what we've been doing for the past 3 years. So I'm going to hand over to Adeza, okay, for him to do his introduction. Then I'll continue with the session.
All right, thank you for that, Ifemena. So just a very brief introduction about myself. I'm a data analytics expert. I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK and in the US. And I'm also the founder of Analytics with close to a decade years of experience. Started out my career as a management consultant, but then I also pivoted into data analytics along the line. I've worked across different sectors, from energy to educational technology to financial services, automobile, and so on and so forth. And for me, my first degree was in industrial chemistry, nothing related to tech. And I was able to pivot and transition. And some of the things that we had to do to ensure that we were able to transition, we will be sharing those strategies with you as well. And over the years, within the last 3 to 4 years, we have also been able to help over 2,000 people to also transition from the classroom into getting their first jobs in tech. From people working across the UK, the US, and Canada, and also people working remotely, working out of Nigeria, earning in dollars, spending in Naira, people working out of Ghana, working remotely, and so on and so forth. So that's been our mission for the last 3 to 4 years, helping more people that are like us to also make that transition into the tech ecosystem. And I'll come back to walk you through exactly what you need to learn if you want to transition based on your specific area or career path that you would have chosen. All right, so that's just a bit about me, and I'll get to see you guys later to talk to you again. Over to you, Ife.
All right, fantastic. All right, Jules, you could see basically like off the top, you will see that you are currently in the greatest of hands. So you can find yourself All right. So you're in the right place. You're in the right place. You were looking to transition into the tech space. You are literally in the right place. And that's what we're going to be talking about, and if I ask you, if I ask people now, if I ask you guys on the call, why do you want to transition into the tech space? We've been asking this question, from time immemorial, like the time we started, we've always been asking this question. All right. Why do people want to transition into the tech space? Why did I want to transition into the tech space? The main reason I wanted to transition, I don't know about you, but based on, our conversation with people that are looking to transition into the tech space, number one is flexibility. All right. Flexibility, the ability to work from anywhere. All right. So you're not confined with location. You're not confined with, whatever the case might be. All right. And that flexibility of to work from anywhere. Okay. And that's really why we're going to be talking about remote working today. Now, obviously, over the years, okay, in recent times, in the recent months, all right, a lot of people are of this opinion that remote work has been in decline. All right. So a lot of organizations are starting to look at hybrid, okay, rather than just fully remote. But you see, where information is a bit biased in the sense is that people still don't people you go online and you see people talking about remote working is gone, the end of remote working, but you see there's still a huge market for remote workers that people don't know about. Okay, like I personally, currently I've lived in Ireland, I've lived in the UK, and I also currently living in Canada. All right, worked remotely for the most times in Ireland. Never worked in any office in the UK. Currently in Canada, also the same thing. Now, the key question I keep telling people is, where do you think this job exists? Okay, these jobs are available. It's not Eden. The key thing people don't ask is, where can I get this job? People are more focused around, oh, they said there's no more talking, there are no more remote works. Okay, and that's the end. People take it hook, line, and sinker without doing personal research, asking the right questions, and that's just the major issue people have. All right. And that's the reason why we had to schedule this session to talk about remote work. If you learn a skill today as an adult, all right, as a technical adult, like an adult looking to transition into a new career path, you're not learning a new skill at this point in time. You won't learn business analysis just for the fun of it. Okay. You won't learn financial analytics just to have fun. All right. You won't learn data science. All right. In order for you to just have fun. The reason why you're learning a new skill is for you to transition. It's for you to to earn better. It's to achieve a certain desire, either to earn better salary, either to get the flexibility that you're looking for, the ability to work from anywhere. So those are the things that most people are looking out for. That flexibility that remote working, that tech skills provides you. All right, that's exactly what you're looking out for. And that's what we're going to be discussing. So we have 8 career paths that we are going to be looking at today. Okay. Obviously, we can't look at all 8 of them. The key thing is, once you have one course, one of the program of interest to you, all right, any of the sites that I'm going to show you after this, you could use it to apply for remote work. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right. Now, looking at the 8 career paths that we have here: business analysis, data analytics, financial analytics, HR analytics, full stack data science, which is data scientist, data engineering, scrum master, and cybersecurity analyst. Now, amongst all the 8 career paths that we have here, I want to know, which one of them are you most interested in? So which one would you say that you have the most interest in? Which one are you looking at to achieve your remote desired work? Okay, let me take it up from there. Let's see. So which of these career paths are you looking out for to get remote work? Let me see. Let me see. You can put it to the charts. You can use acronyms: DA for data analytics, BA for business analysis, FA for financial analytics, HRA, which is HR analytics. So I have Fikayomi as data scientist, Idara for business analyst, Lillian King, cybersecurity, data analyst. Okay. So quite, you know what you're looking for essentially, and that's the reason why I'm asking that question. All right. But data is still going to come in to give you detailed explanation about the roles and what you need to learn in order for you to get started. One thing you should have at the back of your mind, guys. No play, no cap. Let me use Gen Z lingo. No cap, guys. All right. One thing you should have at the back of your mind is, you need a skill to get this job. All right. You need a skill to get the job. I did not mention certificate. You need a skill to get the job. And I'm going to explain you, I will show you this real time. These jobs are available, and I'll show you what is required for you to get the jobs itself. Then Adiza is also going to come to reinforce the things that I've said, all right, or the things that you've seen, all right. So without wasting too much time, let's talk about remote jobs. Now, some of these job sites, you are familiar with them. Some of them, you see them, you use them, all right. Take, for example, LinkedIn, all right. You never know that you could actually get remote jobs on LinkedIn, all right. You know, you'll probably go on LinkedIn to, you know, to like people's posts, to see people's new jobs, to maybe have a chat with some of your colleagues or friends from years ago, and so on and so forth. Okay. But you can actually, LinkedIn is a very fantastic resource for getting remote jobs. Okay. Built in also for US based tech roles, you could actually use built in. And I'm going to show you all this practically. All right. FlexJob, another fantastic place to get remote jobs literally across the world, not just in the US, but anywhere across the world. Remote.co, another fantastic place for you to get jobs. Well Found, formerly known as Angel List, fantastic place to get for tech roles, startup jobs, tech jobs across the US, majorly in the US. All right. Glassdoor, Working Nomads, Indeed. These are some of the very popular sites that you know of. They are more than this. Trust me, I won't lie to you. They're actually more than this. This is a free session, okay? So you shouldn't get the full benefits, okay, that our participants are going to enjoy, okay? So these are just some of the list, some of the sites where you could actually get remote work. All right, some of them you might be familiar with, like Glassdoor, with LinkedIn. Those ones you Indeed. Those three are like the most popular ones that you'll see on a day-to-day basis. But the likes of Built-in, FlexJobs, Remote.co, Well Found, Working Nomads, myself will be new to some of you if you know if that's the case. Now for freelancers meaning that you are just taking up short-term contracts with people, all right, with businesses across the world, short-term contracts, and you are earning in dollars. Two places I would recommend: Upwork and Fiverr. Okay, those are the two places. And we're going to look at them today. We're going to explore them today, and you'll see reasons why you should learn the skill in order for you to get started and have that flexibility of working from literally anywhere in the world, and earn in your foreign currency. If you're currently in Nigeria or any part of the world, you can actually earn in, you know, foreign currency dollars, essentially. So we're going to start first with LinkedIn, okay? I'm going to start first with LinkedIn. I'll show you how you could use LinkedIn to get remote jobs, okay? So are we ready? If you're ready for that, put a one in the chat. I need energy in this place. I need some energy. If you're ready to learn how to use LinkedIn to get remote jobs, put a one in the chat. Let me see. Without any ones, without plenty ones, I need to see them rolling in. Roll the ones, roll it inside. Let me see. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's go. So I'm just going to open my browser. So all you need is your browser. All right. And I'm going to go to linkedin.com. All right. Now, like I mentioned, okay, since we're here, please follow us on LinkedIn. Also, it's literally just search Analytics on LinkedIn, and you could follow us. All right. So all you need to do is go to jobs. Okay, the jobs are there for you, and I'm going to search for. I'll start for the first one I'm looking at here, data analyst. All right, data analyst. Okay. And now the key thing is the beauty about remote work is, sorry, what did I put there? United States. Okay. Now, currently, this is the United States. All right. This is data analyst position currently available in the United States. Some of them are remote, some of them are hybrid, some of them are full time. Okay. Now, the best way you could do this, you could see some of the roles here. Some of the roles here are already stated as remote. This also remote. This also remote. This also remote. And you see, majority of them are actually remote. Well, anyways, to make sure to streamline it, okay, yeah, I'm just going to just select remote and ensure that I am selecting just the remote roles available at this point in time. All right. And this is just using the keyword data analyst. So there are other names you could actually use, all right? Other naming convention for the role of a data analyst. But before we get there, I will just show the ones that are currently available. Fully remote roles currently in the United States. Now, the beauty about this having a skill, okay, having a skill that is globally recognized. Now, except Power BI, Tableau, SQL. These are skills that are required for data analyst. Okay. Now, if you're currently in the UK, you using Power BI in the UK is the same, it's the equivalent of the same Power BI that you're using in the United States. There is no difference. There is no US version of Power BI and UK version of Power BI. All right. There is no, India version of Python, and there's no India version of Python in Canada. There is no Canada Python. There's no specific industry, country specific tool for data analysis. They are the same tool. Meaning that if you learn data analytics, for example, okay, in any part of the world, anywhere you are, you learn it, you can actually apply for these jobs. Okay, you could actually apply for these jobs. All right. So this is currently with Oracle. This is Kaiser. This is Motion Recruitment. This is core, core. This is healthcare. So many other data analyst data, and these are all fully remote roles currently available. All right. So some of them, I don't like to. I have experience applying for these jobs, so I'll tell you the truth. Some of these roles requires you to be in the US. Okay, even though you're going to be working remotely, they want you to be working remotely within the US. But now the only trick, the thing is, they don't specify on the job role. They don't specify it anywhere that you have to be in the US in order for you to apply for this remote work. So one thing you need to have at the back of your mind is you need to apply for every role that you see there. You need to apply for everything that has remote. Let them be the one to come back to you to tell you that, oh, we are accepting remote work, but you need to be in the US or Canada in order for you to get this particular role. All right. But you can't see a role, okay, and know that they expect you to be in the work in the US. All right. Now, another thing is, it's not just the United States. The remote work is not limited to the United States. Without a doubt, the United States has more opportunities for remote working, all right, for any role that you find yourself. And I'm going to explore other roles. It's not just data analyst. Okay. So let's try another role before we go to another country. Okay. So I'm going to try out financial analyst. Okay. Financial analyst. Okay. And it's the same thing. All right. So we have senior financial analyst, and this is still all remote work because that's what is selected. All remote work, financial analyst, financial planning analyst, okay, financial analyst. And these are all fully remote work. Some of them, they put the salaries there. Some of them, the salaries are not there. So this senior financial planning and analysis is 100K to $120,000. All right. This was a senior role also, 65 to $77 per hour. All right, this is another senior financial, and these are all majorly senior roles. All right, you might want to just, if you're even some of these roles, you can apply to them without a doubt. Even after going through the training program, you can apply to them. Okay. So you will learn all the things that you need to learn in order for you to get started. So you can see other financial analyst role. This is currently hybrid. They might be taking people full-time remote, but they might also be considering hybrid. So you might want to take a look at all these things. But one thing I'll tell you guys, please apply. Okay. Let them be the one to tell you that they are not taking hybrid or they're not taking fully remote. They're taking hybrid. Okay. Let them be the one to tell you that. Okay. Don't be the one to conclude just looking at the rule itself. So I've worked on projects, I've worked with organizations that put hybrid, or eventually I was working fully remote based on our interaction during the interview process and all that. Okay. So these are roles that you could actually apply to. And it's the same thing for every other role that you're looking out for. If it's HR analyst, it's the same process. Okay. So, and the good thing about remote working is, or, apply for these jobs is the ability to, the naming convention. Okay. So for HR analysts, it's not just HR analysts you can search for. You can also search for people analysts. Okay. You can also search for what we call people analysts. And you look for people analysts, you can look for talent analysts, you can look at, there are so many naming conventions that you could actually use. There's benefit analyst, compensation analyst. There are so many names. Same thing with data analytics. There is business intelligence, all right? Business intelligence analyst, okay? And so on and so forth. And these are the things people don't understand. So when they're looking for jobs, okay, they are stuck with just the name that they know. They are stuck with the name that they know, data analyst. So when they search for data analyst and they see maybe 1,000 jobs available and they apply to that 1,000, that's the end it for them. All right. They don't try to search for other roles. there's even specific tools you could apply to. All right. So take, for example, you could apply for Power BI analyst. All right. As a data analyst, you could actually go for Power BI analyst. Okay. Power BI developer. So these are the things that you don't know that you can actually apply to. All right. So somebody's asking for someone in Canada on visa. Can you? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Okay. It's remote roles. You really can work from anywhere without, they're not concerned about your visa status, so it really doesn't matter. Now, just going back to what I was saying, okay, it could be the same thing as a data scientist, okay. So, like I said, I can't go through all the roles for all the roles that we have. We have 8 of them. So, me doing that one after the other. All the key things you should have at the back of your mind is the process of you filtering for remote roles. Okay. All right. This is currently in the United States. So if you're tired, you've applied for some jobs in the United States, it doesn't really say that you should only apply for jobs in the United States. You could also look for Canada and look for remote roles in Canada. Okay, remote roles, fully remote roles in Canada. Same thing. If you're done with Canada, you move on. Obviously, you try different naming conventions. So data scientist is not just data scientists. You can look for statisticians. You can look at, modelers that financial modeler, statistical modeler. You can look at the roles of what we call machine learning developer, machine learning expert. There are so many other names you could actually use for the role of a data scientist. When you finish from there, you could also go to New Zealand, okay, and try other countries of the world. It doesn't really limit you to just one location to apply for just remote jobs in the US. But go from Canada to the US to UK, all right, to the United Kingdom, all right. And those are the things you need to consider when you are looking for remote roles. Okay. So this is LinkedIn. Okay. And I think we've trying out different naming convention, different roles and all that. So the key thing you need to understand is search for a role, specify the country you're going into or you're searching for, and filter for just remote work. And you're good to go. Okay. Now that's LinkedIn, okay? And I'm going to explore something else. I'm going to explore built-in, okay? And I'm going to try to see how I can look at different jobs. And you can see these roles are available. And guess what? The jobs on LinkedIn are not the same on built-in. 2 different set of jobs available, all right? And this is what navigating the job market helps you to do, okay? A lot of people know LinkedIn, but a lot of people don't know built-in. Let me take you through built-in, all right? Built-in, okay? So this is majorly US tech jobs. US, okay? The US is a very huge market for remote working. So if you're looking to get into remote working, US get paid in dollars and you're good to go. All right. So you see, explore remote tech jobs, explore remote tech jobs, and you click on that. All right. So now once you click on that, you see everything is filtered to just remote roles. Okay. Literally just remote roles in the US. So this is literally the United States. So if you want a specific region, I wouldn't want you to limit yourself to a specific region because you're working remotely. All right. So now let's take a look at, financial analyst. Okay. All right. All right. Apply search. I see the jobs available. Okay. We have the associate project financial analyst intern, senior financial analyst, and you see all these roles are actually available. This one was posted yesterday. These are actual roles, fully remote roles. Take a look at the salaries for this: 76 to 101,000. This is also 58 to $98,000. And you see, these are roles that are currently taking. So when you see people currently working as accountants, okay, working as finance professionals, they feel like they can't get remote work or remote work. Finance is not tech, okay. Well, that's where financial analytics comes in. You leveraging data analytics to solve financial problems. So you are using the tools of a data analyst to solve financial problems. So you're building your financial model, you're doing your valuation, you're doing scenario analysis, you're doing sensitivity analysis, and you're using data analytics to do this. That's what makes you different. So you can look at any of these roles. Let's take this finance operations analyst role and take a look at what is required from these guys. Okay. All right. So 1 to 2 combination finance, advanced knowledge of Excel. Okay, Excel skills started during the interview, VLOOKUP, some ease. These are things that you feel like you know how to use. But now the ability to develop querying skills, all right, that's SQL. That's not what a regular financial professional would know how to do in anywhere in the world. All right, because you are all taught to use, financial statements, build your company, your balance sheet, your income statement, your cash flow statement, and all that. But now, you leveraging analytics in finance now makes you different from the regular financial professionals that you get out there. All right. So you see, and that's what you'll find that's what makes you a tech professional as a finance guy. All right. Take a look at any role that you see there is literally going to be the same thing. You leveraging analytics within the space of the role itself. All right. And that's what you find across all the roles. Now, the same thing let me just take a look at, okay. So let's take a look at data engineer. I don't think we'll look at data engineer. Okay. All right. Take a look at the role of the data engineer. Now, these are data engineering roles. These, without a doubt, are one of the highest paid in the tech ecosystem. Okay, so when you see their salaries, you need to see how you need to tell yourself you need to sit down to practice and learn it and be good at what you're doing because of the kind of salaries that you can actually attract as a data engineer. So you see, majority of these things are posted yesterday, 2 days ago, a few days ago, a couple of hours ago. These are roles that are currently available, fully remote roles. Now, the key question is, who are these people applying for these jobs? Who are these people applying for the jobs? Okay. So this Atlassian, okay. This is Carter. This is, all these roles. These companies they are well-known organizations. Data engineer, data engineer, data engineer, and you could take a look at any of them to look at what's the requirement of this engineer of this particular of the job role itself. So develop data pipeline transformation, ETL and ELT, orchestration and job controls. So these are the things that you need to learn. Participate in overall architectural engineering operations of modern data warehouse and analytical platforms. So these are the things that you can learn and you could apply. You could actually apply for these roles and actually get it. Okay. And that's the same thing with all the roles that you see there. The same thing with data analysts, with the same thing with data engineer, data scientist, all right, cybersecurity analyst. Okay. Cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity analyst, and it's the same thing. Cybersecurity analyst, information systems and networking. That's the same thing. You see this couple of days. This is 2 days ago, 19 hours ago, 19 hours. Today's a Saturday. All right, 4 days ago, 4 days ago, 4 days, and you see all the roles there, recent roles that are currently looking out for applications. So when you say there are no remote jobs or remote jobs has declined, yes, it probably has declined in some areas. When you go to the normal sites, okay, you go to the normal sites to apply for jobs, you probably will see a decline in. But there are specific places you need to go to get these remote jobs. All right, and that's exactly what we're exploring today. Okay, so just put in the name of the role, search for it, and you would have access to all the job roles that you see there. All right. Now that's beauty in anyways. Okay, let's take a look at flex jobs. Okay, I think we have enough time. Anyways, we have enough time. So I'm going to look at flex jobs. Okay, flex jobs. So if you want to flex and have a job, this is exactly what you. Or if you're learning a lot from these sessions, okay, please put a one in the chat. I need to see the people that I am driving along with, that are going along with me. So if you're going along with me, please guys, put a one in the chat or put a let's go. Put let's go. I want to see let's go. Put let's go. All right. Let me see. Let me see the people following me. Oh. If you're looking for a remote job, you need to put let's go. If you don't put let's go, you're done for today, guys. All right, fantastic. I love this. Idara actually gave me a rocket with mine. Let me keep flying with it. That's awesome. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. So flex job. All right. You see, find genuine remote jobs at companies that get it. All right. So this is basically for remote work. And you notice that everything we'll be talking about has been tech. Okay, it's tech. It's not, oh, I know how to do customer service. Maybe you should be able to get, but it's not, the pay is not commensurate with what we're going to be talking about. You've seen some of the salaries you can actually earn here at a tech professional. All right. So now let's take a look at, find genuine jobs, genuine remote jobs. Now, the beauty about flex jobs is the ability to apply for jobs literally anywhere in the world. Literally anywhere in the world. So it's not just limited to the US. All right. It's not just limited to the US. And let's take a look at it. Let me just search for a keyword. Okay. All right. I'm going to go with data analyst for now. Oh, I've not looked at business analyst. I think let me look at business analyst. I don't think I've searched for business analyst. I'm not sure if I was the first one I looked out for. So let's take a look at business analyst. Okay. All right. So business analysts, you see this is currently US national, all right? This is US, this is Canada, this is Germany, this is US, this is where's this? CA, San Bruno, that's California, I guess. All right, Boston, Calgary, US, Washington, DC, we have United Kingdom, and so on and so forth. So it's not limited to a particular scenario, a particular place. You could also put date relevance. So you're seeing the new ones that are coming out for today. And the good thing about this, what really helps people apply for jobs on FlexJob is the title. So now a lot of people would look at business analyst and think that they can only apply for business analyst position. Okay, but there are quite a number of other roles you could actually apply to. So let me see if I can refresh the page so I show you the process of going through it. All right, so once you search for your role, okay, relevance is usually the best way to work it out, okay? Just keep it on relevance because of the naming convention, all right? Click on more filters, okay? More filters, okay? And it will give you other roles that you could actually apply to as a business analyst, okay? As a business analyst, roles you could actually apply to. You could also even type them in yourself, business system analyst, and you could see the roles that you can actually apply to. All right. You could also look at data analysts. Okay. All right. And you could also apply for all these jobs, data relevance, and look at ones that are, more related to the roles that you're looking out for. All right. So these are opportunities that you could actually latch into. And the beauty of this, like I mentioned earlier, is the fact that you are not only applying for roles in the US. You can get a job in the Philippines. You can get a job. Okay, take a look at this financial planning and analyst. This is currently in the Philippines. All right. So you can actually apply for jobs literally anywhere in the world. The reason why my searches I'm not getting the optimal aspect of my search. It's you need to log in. All right. So you can see all the features. You get a full scope feature of all the things you need to do. I don't want to log in, okay, just for security purposes. All right. So all you need to do is once you log in, create your account, you have your account and everything set up. All you need to do is just search for the roles. Based on job titles, you could filter in to certain job titles in order for you to know exactly what roles you could actually apply to. All right. You could go with financial analyst, HR analyst, people analyst, talent analyst. There are so many naming convention that has hindered people from achieving this. Okay. Now, that's exactly what we're going to be teaching you during the training program, what we call navigating the job market. Very essential, all right? So, like I mentioned earlier when we started this conversation, myself at Deza it took us about 2 years to transition into our desired career. Okay. And we struggled. Take, for example, my first ever role, transitioning was business intelligence developer, okay, was a business intelligence developer. So it means that if I've been searching for a data analyst, I won't have taken a position. For example, also Adesa's first role or transitioning first role was MIS analyst, that's management information systems analyst. Now you see all these things here are not naming convention that we are all familiar with. How do you know the kind of roles you can actually apply to if you don't know the naming convention? And worked on a role called the Global Business Systems Analyst role. Global Business Systems Analyst. As just searching for the word data analyst will not get me. Data scientist will not get me that role. So how do you know the naming convention to use in order to get your desired role? That's a key question you need to ask yourself. And that's exactly why we have that session, navigating the job market. And you see, we have a ton of other places we can actually check out. And I'll just be brief with it. So we can actually, we would also look at freelancers, okay? So people that want to work freelance. I'm just going to search for these ones. But the key thing is you have the names there. All you need to do is go on Google. I'm going to go to working nomads next. So obviously with the name itself, you know that this literally is a platform that allows you to literally work from anywhere. Okay. So now I'm just going to search for, let's say, data engineer. Okay. Okay. All right. So you see all the roles: data engineering, data customer engineering, senior BI engineering, so on and so forth. And these are all fully remote roles. Fully remote roles. Okay. So you see the salary of these, this is 136 to 220,000. This is a ML engineer. So a data scientist should ideally be able to apply for this role after you finish. Customer engineer, another one. So this one is also so we have somebody that got a job from our place. Also, this customer engineer, which is a data engineering position, but ideally you would not want to apply to it. You will never, you wouldn't believe that you can apply for this role if you study data engineer. Okay. Now we had somebody that got a job as a sales engineer. So ideally, when you hear the word sales engineering, you'll think you are working with sales. Okay, you are doing sales. All right. But basically, what this person is doing is onboarding sales clients. So it's a software company, okay, that basically onboards people. Like, let's say, take for example, Salesforce, okay. So your company currently, let's say, Analytics wants to onboard Salesforce, wants to use Salesforce. So we have our existing system. Take for, let's say we're using current system. Let's say we're using some legacy system, okay, some old system, and we say that, okay, do you know what? We want to improve, we want to move our data, we want to move our system to Salesforce. Now, the sales engineer is basically this person that will now move the data from our legacy system into Salesforce. So this same customer engineer, let's take a look at this role. Okay, as a customer engineer, you will work collaborating with other architects, okay, and engineers to design a prototype and inspire customers into Google Cloud services and properties. So when you hear the word customer engineer, it doesn't mean you're working with customers, but essentially this scenario, you are basically onboarding customer. You're transferring customer data, okay, into Google Cloud services. Okay. And those are the things that you don't know you can actually do. Okay, that you can actually do, you just learning the skill. All right. So naming convention is something that has really limited a huge number of people while transitioning into the desired role. Okay, naming convention. Okay, because you study data engineering, you're always looking for data engineer role. Okay, because you studied, financial analytics, you're only looking for financial analyst. Okay, meanwhile, there is commercial analyst that you could actually apply to. There is financial planning you could actually apply to. There's investment banking you can apply to. There are quite a number of other roles you could actually apply to, but you don't know you can apply to them because of limitation. All right. And that's exactly why we have that session, navigating the job market. All right. So you see, I'm just going to go through remote.co, another place. I'm just going to type them out. Okay. All right. So we don't waste too much time talking about, well, basically, I know that's why we're here. And that's why I've provided with, all the things that find remote jobs, click on that, takes you to all the remote jobs you could actually apply to. And these are, I'm just going to look at data scientists, search for the jobs, and takes me all through data science jobs that are currently available, remote works, all right, that you could actually apply to. Bear in mind that these roles are available. Okay, these roles are available. And that's the same thing we do on well found. Well found, it's the same way. I'm just gonna go there, well found. All right. And like I said, formerly called Angel List. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Angel List. Angel List was back in 2015, 2016-ish. All right. They were called Angel List. So find your next job. Obviously, you're the one looking for jobs. So you go there, find your next job, and you see here over 130,000 remote and local startup jobs. Over 130 remote and local startup jobs. All right. So all you need to do is scroll down to data analytics and jobs. Okay. You have sales jobs. Okay. So you can see HRIS, Workday specialist. This is definitely HR related. Okay, the marketing, so you can also get roles as marketing analyst and all that. You could also check it out. Operations analyst and all those kind of roles. You could also check it out. HR and recruitment. This is remote roles. Remote. Okay, so you could actually get roles as HRIS systems analyst, talent analyst, people analyst. So all those kind of roles exist in this particular place. All right. Finance and legal. Okay, so cost analyst, financial analyst, you see financial systems analyst. So you see FP and A basically stands for financial planning and analysis. Okay. Investment relation associates. So you see the salaries are there. This is clearly stated. Now, these are all jobs, remote jobs. This is not you requiring visa for you to travel to the country, or it doesn't require you to have anything. It's literally you working remotely from anywhere. So some of these names are very familiar. Masterclass is a is a very popular name. MongoDB, another very popular organization. GuidePoint, very popular organization. So these are startup jobs, okay, 130,000 plus, okay, remote and startup jobs. So all you need to do for this one also is to create an account, okay, create an account and you can apply for these roles. They are literally there for you to have access to, okay? And we've taken a look at quite a number of them today, from LinkedIn to Built-in to FlexJobs to Remote.co to Working Nomads, and currently we're on Wellfound. But also we have freelance platforms like Upwork, okay, that allows you to work freelance, okay? So depending on the job places that you're looking out for, you could actually apply for, take for example, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, the keyword there is D. So I know you're looking at D roles, okay? So data extraction specialist, that's the work of a data engineer, data scientist. You could do that. Database designer, okay, data analyst, data cleaning analyst, data scientist, data analytics freelancer. So these are all naming conventions that you could actually leverage. So take, for example, I go with data analytics freelancer. All right. So you see all the roles there, organize and detailed data analysis with excellent data interpretation. So this particular one, this is experience level, entry level. So they are not looking for somebody that is overly experienced. Okay. So if you take a look at this, they will tell you how much you can actually earn per hour for this particular kind of role. Okay. So, and that's the same thing you get for all the roles that you have there, working with Excel, working with Python, working with whatever tool that you want to work with. So you see here, you also have an Excel freelancer over here, Excel freelancer. So you need to explore all the naming conventions that you have here in order for you to be able to explore. For F, the guys of financial analysis, financial planning. So you see here, financial analyst is over here. We also have financial modeler also, yeah, financial writer. So if you want to take on these writing financial papers and all that, you should definitely explore that. All right, so let's take a look at financial modeler. Okay, business analyst for a retail firm. So that's one you could do. Build a financial model. This is currently $49, very small. I'm not expecting it to be a very large project. So how many days is this one? Let's see. Um, Proposal 5 to 10 days. Okay, so this is posted 2 days ago. I'm looking for a suitable freelancer to build a financial model for an asset-driven project. Fixed price of $49. That's very small amount. Okay, so if it's just like a day, 2 days, something you might want to just take on and just use to pay for subscription. All right. Okay. So financial analysis is $60, but sometimes it might be $60 per hour. Okay. Or they usually specify their what they call it, the range of time you need to work per week and all that. Okay. So everything is stated there. So this is all financial professionals. Okay. And that's the same thing with every other person, literally. Okay. So if you're looking at getting a role, all right, all you need to do is just explore this and you will be able to apply for these jobs. So you see here, you have a Microsoft Power BI specialist, okay? That's another role. The data analyst, the data HR analyst, the financial analyst, these are all roles that you could actually apply to, okay? Working freelance, okay? Now, that's for freelancers, guys that just want to freelance, quick and dirty. Enter the place, do your work, get your money, and you're out of the place. The other place is Fiverr. Okay, Fiverr is the other place where you can actually get freelance opportunity. Okay, for this you will need to create a profile. Okay, you will need to create a profile that will get you started. Okay, so all you need to do once you create a profile, you have a profile optimized. You could always get started in getting the kind of roles that you're looking out for. So you see it here, you have a place there that is programming and tech, literally programming and tech. So if you look at this, coming, okay. So you see it here, support and cybersecurity. You have cybersecurity over here, okay. For software development, you have them here, software engineers and all that. Now, also, you could also just search for data analysts, and let's take a look at data, let's say data scientists, okay, or data engineers. All right. Okay, so you see, these are people that are currently on Fiverr that are looking at that have this experience in data analytics, data science. Okay, so you see this person now, this person is charging from 128 Canadian dollars. Okay, all right. This person is charging $213 Canadian dollars. Based on I'm currently in Canada, that's the reason why I'm saying it's in Canadian dollars. So you see, this is basically a Power BI developer. This is the Power BI guy. This is Power BI visualization. All right. And that's what he does. So you see all these people here quoting their prices of how much they can charge. So if somebody comes here and they see your service, they can actually employ you. All right. Short term, quick and dirty, do your work, get your money, and you're earning in dollars. It really doesn't matter. You have to be in Nigeria. So some of these guys might not even be in Nigeria. Okay, might not be in Canada. All right. But obviously, because of how much is quoted in dollars, it's going to be converted to Canadian dollars for me based on my region. All right. So some of these guys are not in Canada. I can bet you. Okay, they're not in Canada. All right. So that's exactly the benefit of you having remote working, you working remotely. So you see this is $15. Some people charge as low as $15. So you know your own entry points. Okay. So if you have, so this person has worked on 4 projects, this one has worked on 5 projects, and so on and so on. Okay, 2 rating, 5 ratings, 1 rating, and so on and so forth. So anyways, depends on what you're getting into, all right? And you know how much you're going to be charging per hour and so on and so forth. So, and those are the things that you can actually get on, you can actually leverage in getting started. Okay. So I'm not going to waste too much time. If you've learned something new from this session today, please guys, drop a 1 in the chat. Okay. Yeah, you need to get work in freelance. Okay, but I have to get any work in freelance. You can actually get any work in freelance. So working on this platform, you can apply for some of the opportunities that come up. Upwork, the roles would actually come up for you to apply to them. Okay, and those are the ways you can actually get gigs. So for Upwork, I have to close Upwork. It's the same thing. So for this particular one, all right, all you need to do once you get there, you'll see some of these services are available. So you can actually apply to work as a freelancer on that particular project. Okay. Some roles would need a couple of freelancers. Okay. So it's not just one freelancer. So that's the reason why I tell most times apply. Whatever you see, whatever freelancer gig that you see, apply for them and you see how you get, the opportunities coming in. Okay. That's the same thing with Upwork. So Upwork, they have more opportunities. They have more outright visible opportunities that you could actually latch into. Well, that's for freelancers anyways. If you want to work remotely, LinkedIn, built-in, flex jobs, working nomads, remote.co, these are places you can work in, well found. These are places you can actually get these remote jobs. Okay. All right. So thanks, learned about various websites where I can look for remote work and work as a freelancer. So essentially, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. And you see, those are the things that a lot of people don't know they can actually get on, from the start. They feel like, they need to. And, there are so many, if you're currently in the country, okay, so if you're currently in Canada, there are more opportunities for you. If you're currently in the UK, there are more opportunities for you. If you're currently in the US, more opportunities. All right. So if you're currently outside of these regions, okay, you have limitations. you will need to go through sites like this in order for you to gain access to remote jobs. But if you are within the country, you have more opportunities to get remote jobs. Okay, you have more opportunities because you are currently in Canada, means that you don't need to, you don't have visa requirements, nothing, all right, in order for you to apply for this job. So there are so many intricacies that I would need to put you through while you're getting started. The key thing is these roles are very, very possible for you to get. All you need is a skill set in order for you to apply for these jobs. Okay. So now the key thing is, how can I get into this career path? I want to earn the dollars. I want to get started. I want to secure a position, all right, that will guarantee my future, that will guarantee a better pay, a better rewarding career. And that's exactly what Adeza will be coming to take on. So Adeza, I'm going to hand over to you and you can take it off from there. Thank you, guys. I'll be coming back later to discuss. Okay? Cheers.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Ifemena. Absolutely fantastic session. And for a lot of people who struggle to apply to remote jobs, most of the time they don't just know where to go to. All right, that's number one. Number two, just like Ifemena rightly mentioned, you also need to showcase that you have the skills to compete and get those jobs because you're applying and competing for the same role with so many people from across the globe. And that's what I'll be showing you in the next few minutes, what you need to learn, the skills you need to gain to get into any of these career paths. So I'll quickly share my screen and then we'll go on to walk through all the 8 career paths and the specifics of how to get started in those areas. How long would it take you to learn? Number one. Number two, what are the specific skills you need to learn to transition into any of the areas? All right. So let's get started. Let's get started. Now, let's take the business analysis. Business analysis is a fantastic career path across different regions. You are in the US, you are in Canada, you are in the UK, you are across Africa, you are in India. It doesn't matter where you are. As a business analyst, you find yourself in one of the most thriving roles and very high in demand. But what do you need to learn to be a business analyst, and what does a business analyst do on a day-to-day? All right. So as a business analyst, you are that professional who analyzes the business. Okay, so you look at the processes of the business, you look at the systems, you look at the stakeholders, and you find inefficiencies in the processes, in the systems, and make recommendations to make those processes a lot better and a lot faster. Every business has 3 major components: the people, the processes, and technology. All right. The business analyst focuses a whole lot on the processes. So you'd see organizations whereby a certain task or a certain process takes about 3, 4, 5 days. Let's use Amazon, for example. You place an order on Amazon, it takes you about 2 days to 3 days to get your order delivered to you. There is a process from when the customer orders to when that process is delivered, when that particular product is delivered to the customer. So a business analyst goes into the organization and analyzes the process from the beginning till the end and maps out the current process. This is what we do as an organization, and look for loopholes and inefficiencies in that process and recommend solutions to make the process a lot faster. So how do we take a process that takes 2 to 3 days? How do we optimize that process so that the process now takes 24 hours? Right? And that's the major focus of the business analyst. You analyze the business, analyze the processes, the systems, the stakeholders, and provide solutions to that specific organization. And as a business analyst, for you to do all these amazing tasks, you need to have key set of skills. And what are the first set of skills you need to have as a business analyst? You must learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL. All right. And this is the data analytics skills that you need to learn. Now, data analytics or learning Excel, Power BI, and SQL is not the core function or the core responsibility of the business analyst. But the modern business analyst of today, in 2024, you really want to have data analytics skills, because these are the skills organizations are looking out for. All right. So you're not just the conventional business analyst anymore. You're a business analyst that has the capacity to do some data analytics functions. All right. And that's where you start to see some new roles, new titles called the business data analyst. All right, the business data analyst, and that clearly encapsulates the business analyst who has functions and responsibilities of data analytics as well. You then move into process mapping, which is your bread and butter as a business analyst. You need to know how to map out processes using tools like Lucidcharts, using tools like Draw.io, and other diagramming tools like Microsoft Visio, and so on and so forth. You learn project initiation as a business analyst, because you're going to manage projects. Once you've looked at a process that takes 2 to 3 days, and you find out that to make this process optimized, to take just 24 hours, we need to implement some level of automation. And to automate the process, we need to build a software or an application. So you set up a project that would help the organization to build that software, acquire the application to optimize those processes. So you need to understand project initiation planning, Agile and Scrum for projects. So as a business analyst, we're going to manage projects leveraging the Agile methodology and also the Scrum framework for managing projects. Software development lifecycle. Like I mentioned, a lot of the automations that will be happening in organizations to make processes a lot faster would require new software to be built, would require the software to be acquired. Okay, sometimes you buy off the shelf, sometimes you have to build. So how do you plan? How do you design? All right, how do you build? How do you test, deploy, and so on and so forth? So the entire cycle of starting out a software, you would understand that cycle because you'll be managing projects in that realm. You'd also understand requirement fundamentals, elicitation, asking the right questions to get the right information and requirements that would help to solve the problems that you're looking out to solve in an organization. You'd also understand stakeholder analysis and engagement. What's the best form to engage certain stakeholders? Do I need to organize workshops or meetings, one-on-one meetings, focus group sessions? Do I need to communicate to my stakeholders using different tools and so on and so forth? So you'll know how to analyze your different stakeholders and where they rank in terms of the stakeholder power, the power of the stakeholder within the organization. And of course, you'd also learn AI, ChatGPT for business analysis. And these are the skills that you need today to get a job as a business analyst. And the question you want to ask is, how long does it take me to do this? 4 months of project-based learning. All right, you'd learn for 2 months in a project-based scenario in class, live classes during the weekends. You'd learn for 2 months, learning the rudiments, the fundamentals of business analysis, and another 2 months working on real life projects where you would work in a team where you have a software developer, you'd have a scrum master, you have a product owner, and you will be the one managing the project to build and deploy a web application. So it goes beyond just you learning by watching videos. This is you actually getting your hands busy, getting the job done, so that when you get in front of an interviewer, competing for some of these jobs, the remote jobs, the hybrid jobs, you are in Canada, you want to get a job as a business analyst. They want to see that you've done things that showcases that you can do the job when you're hired to do that job. And that's where the project becomes very, very important. All right. Your classes happens on Saturdays and Sundays. So it doesn't matter where you are. If you're in Africa, if you're in the UK, you are in Europe, you have a time zone that fits into your schedule. All right. So for those in the UK, Europe, Africa, similar time zone, on Saturdays, you have your class from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West Africa time. And for those in the US, in Canada, you have a different time zone. So it doesn't make sense being in a class, that starts too early based on your time zone. So you have another session for 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time, which is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. So you have this time that fits into your schedule and it makes things a lot easier for you to be in class. So that's the Saturday class. And on Sundays in the afternoon, for those in Europe, for those in Africa, you have a class from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And if you're in Canada or you're in the US, you have a session for 12 noon to 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is basically for those, it's a Canadian time zone and so on. So you have a time that fits your schedule. So you don't have to bother about joining a class at odd hours. And that's the beauty of when you get to learn with us at Tenalytics. And as a business analyst, you get to learn amazing tools. You learn Confluence for collaboration. You understand how to use Jira for project tracking project deliverables, similar with Trello for collaboration and also tracking project deliverables. And you learn ChatGPT for business analysis to make you more efficient as a business analyst, right? So if you take a screenshot of this and you have all these skills, 1 to 9, you complete the internship and you complete your 2 months of learning, 2 months of internship, you are good to go with getting a job anywhere across the globe as a business analyst. We're going to move into data analytics very quickly. And as a data analyst, what do you do and what is your responsibility? Your responsibility as a data analyst is to ensure that organizations can take decisions from a data-driven perspective. Organizations would collect data from different sources, all right? How can that business take decisions based on the data that they have gathered? And that's the question you need to answer as a data analyst. And in answering this question, to get knowledge and insights from the data that organizations have gathered, you need to answer 2 key questions. One is descriptive analytics, and the other one is diagnostic analytics. All right? Descriptive analytics simply answers the question, what happened? What happened? While diagnostic answers the question, why did it happen? Right? And these are the 2 key questions that you get to answer as a business analyst. Take, for example, you work in an organization that has been in existence for the past 20 years, and you want to find out over the last 5 years, what has been our trend of revenue for the last 5 years. So you gather the data from 2019 till date. So you have 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Okay, so this is 6 years actually. So 6 years worth of data, right? So in 2019, perhaps you made about $3 million. 2020 increased to what? $5 million. $5 million. 2021, it dropped to $3 million again. 2022, it increased to about 4 million. 2023 went up to about 6 million. And 2024 is still very early in the year. So you have maybe currently just around $1 million. So this is what happened in this organization. You want to go back, gather historical data, use Excel, use Power BI and other tools to analyze this data to get to understand what happened. Now, once you know what happened, which is descriptive analytics, you can then answer the question, why did it happen? For example, why did we have $6 million in 2023? What led to that increase in revenue? And what also led to the decline in revenue in 2021. So we can start to ask questions around what happened, why did it happen, so that if we know why we were able to succeed and get $6 million in 2023, we can double down on that and keep on maximizing our revenue going into the future. All right. And that's the major fundamental objective of a data analyst, answering these two questions: what happened and why did it happen? By gathering the data generated by the company and helping them understand, analyze the data, and take decisions based on that data. And how do you get the skills as a data analyst? The first thing you need to learn is problem solving, because you need to understand when you need to provide solutions, you need to provide recommendation, what happened, why it happened. It's very important that you understand how to even identify a problem. You need to know how to get to the root cause of a problem. So where is this problem stemming from? All right. So root cause analysis using different techniques like the 5 whys. You need to know how to break problems into different parts and solve those smaller parts of the problems until you're able to solve the entire problem eventually. All right. So you need to understand problem solving. Then you move into Microsoft Excel for analytics. Microsoft Excel is that fundamental tool that gets you into the data space. Without Excel, you can't call yourself a data analyst. Excel gives you that foundation in data analytics. It's like building a house, and you start by building the foundation. That's what Excel gives to you. From Excel, you move into SQL, structured query language. Every organization would have their data in something we call a database. And this is where data is stored. Now, for you to have access to this database, it's important that you understand the language to communicate with that database. And the language to communicate with a database is SQL, structured query language. And anybody in data would need to understand how to speak this language. So you learn SQL as a data analyst, and then you move into Power BI for business intelligence, Power BI to visualize your data and also create automation across all the reports you have. And then you also get to learn Tableau. Power BI and Tableau will pretty much give you the same set of outcomes. However, you put yourself at an advantage because you find organizations that have a preference for Power BI. It means you can apply to that job. You find organizations that have a preference for Tableau, you can also apply to that job. Data storytelling, where you communicate your findings. You know the reason why we had an increase in revenue, why we had a drop in revenue. All right. So how do I communicate this to the key stakeholders that need to take the decisions? All right. Tell them in a way that is compelling and they're able to make those decisions based on my findings. You then move into AI for analytics, ChatGPT, and then Microsoft Fabric as well. And Microsoft Fabric is simply that platform. It's a new platform from Microsoft that would soon take over the market because Microsoft Fabric is all-encompassing and has different Fabric items across the data analytics value chain. All right. So organizations would see you as somebody who is a step ahead of your peers, having the skills in Microsoft Fabric. For example, in Microsoft Fabric, you have a Fabric item where you can build your Power BI reports in Microsoft Fabric. You can create data warehouses and data lakes in Microsoft Fabric. You can run SQL queries in Microsoft Fabric. So organizations would see you as somebody who is a step ahead by learning Microsoft Fabric. And these are the set of skills that you need to become a data analyst. So take a screenshot of this. And when people ask, what do I need to become a data analyst? This is what you need to learn. And how long would this take you? 4 months, 3 months working on projects, project-based classes, where you get to work on projects, real life projects, solve those problems. And that's the way you learn for 3 months. And then you join the internship, the free virtual internship for 1 month. Now, the internship gives you the opportunity to work in a cross-functional team. You would have a data analyst, a data scientist, the business analyst, you all work together to solve a common problem, which is the same way you work in a typical organization. So it gives you that experience working in a team, solving organizations' problems for 1 month during the internship. And your classes happens on Saturdays, where you have your live classes. All right, your live classes are on Saturdays. On Sundays, you have what we call the Watch Me Do It self-paced videos. So on Saturdays, you have a trainer right in front of your screen who will walk you through projects. You get to solve case studies and problems together. All right. And on Sundays, you receive bite-sized videos, something we call Watch Me Do It videos. You get to watch those videos, understand the concepts, and then the following Saturday, you get to implement by getting your hands busy, solving problems and working on projects during the class on Saturdays, your live class. So Mondays, for those, again, you have a time zone for those in the UK, Europe, and so on, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And for those in Canada and in the US, you have 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So it's very flexible. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter the program you want to join. You have a class that fits your time zone. Now let's move into financial analytics. A financial analyst or a financial analytics professional is simply somebody who can call him or herself a data analyst plus investment banking, plus corporate finance. All right. So it's a combination of three amazing career paths: data analytics, investment banking, and corporate finance. And the financial analyst is that professional who assesses and analyzes financial data in an organization to help the organization take investment decisions, evaluates the company's performance, and so on and so forth. So as a financial analytics professional, your focus is a little bit more tailored to financial related data compared to the data analysts who will be looking at the business, looking at sales, looking at number of customers, and so on and so forth. As a financial analyst, your focus is on what? The financial data. How can we make investment decisions? How do we know that the company is, performing at an optimal rate based on the financial records that we have? Okay, how can I forecast the financial trend to tell where the company would be with regards to its finances and so on and so forth, all right? And all you need to do is to learn the data analytics skills from problem solving to Excel to Power BI and SQL. You need to have these fundamental skills to become a financial analytics professional. And then you need to learn accounting fundamentals, which of course is the language of any business, accounting fundamentals. And you don't need any experience to be in any of our programs. All the programs are beginner friendly. All right. You don't need any experience. You don't need to have done accounting to be a part of the financial analytics, the data analytics, the business analysis, and so on and so forth. You'd learn financial analysis, how to analyze financial records, how to analyze financial statements using different ratios and so on. You'd learn financial modeling. You'd build financial models from scratch for companies that are currently in existence and also for startups that have never had any operations, right? You'd build your best case, your base case, your worst case scenarios, and so on. You'd learn valuation, you'd learn sensitivity and scenario analysis, and of course, ChatGPT for analytics. And these are the 10 sets of skills that you need to compete for the jobs across the financial analytics ecosystem. Okay, and like I said, you don't need any experience to be a part of any of the programs. How long does it take? 4 months, just like the data analytics. You learn for 3 months, project-based classes, and 1 month internship. 1 month free virtual internship where you get to work on key projects that would enable you, add that to your CV as relevant work experience. All right, your classes happens on Saturdays. You have your live classes on Saturdays, just like the data analytics. And on Sundays, you have your self-paced watch me do it video. So on Sundays, for example, you don't need to stress being in a live class. You get to watch your videos at your own convenience. All right. And then some people, what they do is they spread the watch me do it videos across the week. So they watch on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday, and by Wednesday, they are done. So that going into the next class the following Saturday, you are well prepared to get your hands busy working on projects. And that is what has made our participants so successful, because you're not just learning by watching, you're not just learning by, learning tools. You are learning by using those tools to solve real problems, working on projects and case studies. All right. And that's for the financial analytics. And we'll quickly move to HR analytics. And for the HR analysts, your major role in an organization is to do what? Help the organization take HR-related decisions, improve the HR policies, deploy strategies that would relate to the people by analyzing the people data. So you are simply a data analyst that focuses on what? The people-related data. All right. And I'll give you a typical example. We've worked with so many organizations in the capacity of, as consultants, where we go into the company and we see that the major problem that this company has to do with its employees. All right. A company not having an adequate succession plan, for example. So when you look at the track record of people that have retired, you see that retirement happens, sort of suddenly, and they don't really know and have a pipeline of talent that can fill into those very important roles. Attrition is another major issue. So people are leaving the organization. You want to find out why they are leaving. Why are people resigning? Why are they leaving? Okay. Once you are able to identify the factors, and this simply has to do with the data that you collect. For any professional, a HR professional, you collect data from employees that are leaving the company. Why are you leaving? The number of years they have spent, their specific job role. You want to get that data, analyze the data, and see a pattern over the last few months or last few years, and identify the factors that leads to employees' resignation. And once you are able to identify that, rather than having exit interviews, when the employee has already decided to leave, you are able to have what? Stay interviews, where you know the factors that will lead to an employee leaving. So you are able to predict the employees that are at risk of leaving the company. And you have strategies in place to keep them within the company by addressing those issues. And these are some of the major responsibilities of the HR analyst. So it's a combination of data analytics. You learn the data analytics skills, but this time around, you are learning it by applying it on what? HR-related areas. You want to know how to analyze HR data and measure the performance of an organization based on the performance of the people within the organization. You learn different HR metrics and the life cycle of HR. So absenteeism, for example, talent sourcing, attrition, turnover. You want to learn how to measure those, specific KPIs and metrics to tell when the company is doing well or not doing well with regards to the people within that organization. How do I create a dashboard to showcase exactly what is happening in a company at a specific point in time and make that available to all the stakeholders? You learn HR analysis and dashboarding. You automate your reports through report automation using Power BI and so many other tools. And you'd also learn to build your case and create action and chat GPT for HR analytics. And these are the 10 sets of skills that you need to break into HR analytics and get a job as a HR analyst. Again, you don't need to have been in HR. You learn every single metrics, every single life cycle, HR life cycle that would get you the job. So all you need to do is come to the class prepared to soak in all the amazing knowledge and experience that you gain by working on projects. 4 months in class, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship. All right. And just like the other programs, the data analytics, the financial analytics, you have your classes on Saturdays, your live classes. And on Sundays, you have the self-paced watch me do it videos. You don't have to be in class on Sunday. It's more flexible. You get a set of bite-sized videos that you watch that prepares you ahead of the next class the following Saturday. When you have your trainer in front of you, you get to work on projects and solve problems for real life companies. All right. Now let's move into data science. We call it the full stack data science program. All right. Now, as a data, and people confuse data analytics or a data analyst for a data scientist, and there is a major difference. As a data scientist, you are taking data analytics a step further beyond what the data analyst would do. The data analyst answers 2 key questions. What happened? All right. What happened? And why did it happen? These are the 2 key questions the data analyst would answer. What happened and why did it happen? The data scientist will take it a step further to do what? Answer the question, what is likely going to happen? What is likely is part of my handwriting. I'm just going to erase that. What is likely going to happen? And this is looking into the future. What is likely going to happen? And this is looking into the future to tell if we made 3 million in 2021, we made 6 million in 2023, what are we going to make in 2024? Even though 2024 has not ended, can we take historical data in the past, find out what happened, what led to the rise and increase, why did it happen, and use that to predict what is likely going to happen in the future, so that as a company, we can prepare, we can also properly allocate resources based on what will happen in the future. And this is what a data scientist does. They see into the future. All right. So it's like that person that looks into the crystal ball, or that's your babalawo that can see and predict, or that's your, prophets that predict and sees into the future that this is what is likely going to happen. And that's what the data scientist would also do. And for you to predict what is likely going to happen in the future, there you need to have understanding of statistical modeling, all right? And also understand statistics, which is the foundation of data science. So statistical modeling, which also devolves into what? Machine learning, both supervised and unsupervised, and so on and so forth. And this is a data scientist. That's professional that can gather data, analyze the data, and can tell what is likely going to happen in the future based on what has happened in the past. All right. So this is the major fundamental objective of the data scientist. And what do you need to get into data science? What set of skills do you need? And this is where a lot of people make the mistake. People feel that to become a data scientist, I must first of all start by learning Python. Python is not the first thing you need to learn. The first thing you need to learn is to build a solid background and a solid foundation. All right? And a solid foundation, which comes in statistics. So you start by learning statistics, which is the fundamental, which is the key lever that drives your machine learning, your forecasting, your predictive analytics, and so on and so forth. So you learn statistics, you learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. So you are learning Excel this time around, but not just Excel. You are learning Excel to predict and forecast. You build predictive models, different predictive models, forecasting techniques, linear regression, the moving average, exponential smoothing, and so on and so forth. All right. And then you learn Tableau for data analytics. And of course, SQL, structured query language. before you move into Python programming. Right? Python is the technology you leverage, the language you leverage to do the most work and the major work as a data scientist. Your exploratory data analysis, machine learning, building the machine learning models that help you predict the future, both supervised and unsupervised machine learning models. You build that using Python. It also, creates computer vision projects and programs that can recognize objects. So this is giving computers and giving different systems eyes, a set of eyes to see. All right. So it's be able to detect objects, detect your smile. When you smile, it detects your smile. Okay. And there's so many use cases of computer vision. Now, for those of you looking at me, you can see me, or you can see my video, and you can see the Analytics banner behind me, but you can't see any other thing again at my back. But I have a wall behind me. I have a chair behind me. All right. But you can't see because there is an object detection program working on Zoom on this particular session. So it recognizes the human being in front of the camera, but does not recognize other objects apart from the human being in front of the camera. And that's a typical use case of a computer vision program. And you build something like this as well. You learn GitHub for version control, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, and of course, Microsoft Fabric for data science. How long will you learn this? For 4 months, 3 months project-based classes, and 1 month internship, where you get to work on amazing projects eventually. All right. The timing is similar with the timing for the data analytics, the financial analytics, and so on. You have your live classes on Saturdays, and on Sundays, you have your self-paced watch me do it videos. All right. And these are the sets of skills that you need. You learn Excel, you learn Tableau, statistics, SQL before you move into Python. You learn exploratory data analysis using Python, machine learning, supervised machine learning, unsupervised, computer vision, GitHub for version control, ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot, and Microsoft Fabric for analytics. Now, remember, you don't need any experience to be in class. And that's why for any program at Analytics, you start with the fundamentals. You don't jump and start learning Python. And this is what frustrates a lot of people out of getting into tech. You've watched numerous videos on YouTube, but you cannot make a headway because you are starting by learning Python. You pick up Python as a tool and you are learning the tool rather than learning the fundamentals and the background that will give you that base understanding before you move into more complex areas. All right. Now let's move into the data engineering, and we're moving very closer to the end of our session today. The data engineering or the data engineer is that professional that builds and manages the data infrastructure within the organization. And what does that mean? Data comes from somewhere. All right, the data comes from somewhere. So the data we've been talking about is generated from so many platforms, so many systems. Let's take, for example, you work in the bank. The banks would have web applications. They would have mobile applications, mobile apps. You also have POS for transactions. And let's use these 3 data sources as examples. Now, the web app would have its own database where the data for web transactions are stored. The mobile apps would also have its own database where application transactions are stored. Same with the POS. Now, the question is, how, as a data analyst, how do I get access to these databases to do my analysis? Do I go into the web application to get the data? Go into the mobile application, the POS? How do I get data to analyze? As a data scientist, how do I get data to analyze? So the data engineer is that professional that builds something we call data pipelines. All right, data pipelines, builds the pipelines from all these different data sources. All right, and channels the pipeline into a central location called the data warehouse. The data warehouse. And this data warehouse is the central repository where everybody else, every stakeholder within the organization would have to go to access the data generated from these different sources and systems. So the data analysts, let's call the data analyst the DA, would go to this data warehouse. The data scientists, let's call them the DS, they also interact with this data warehouse to get the data that they need to help the company make and take decisions. All right. And that's the importance of the role of the data engineer. Without the data engineer, it would be difficult to what? Build all these systems that would move the data from all these different sources into one location that makes it easy for everybody to access. And you're not just building this, you are building it and automating the process. So it happens regularly, even when you're not there. The data is extracted, it is transformed, and it is loaded into the data warehouse. And that's the role of the data engineer. And for you to create these pipelines, to get the data from all these different sources, you need to have some set of skills. First of all, data engineering, introduction to data engineering. You need to know what to do as a data engineer. What's data engineering all about? How did this role become so important? And how did this role come about? And these are the things you'd first of all learn during the program. And once you've learned what data engineering is all about, you move into SQL, structured query language. And that's your bread and butter as a data engineer, because this is the language you use to build your data warehouses, your databases, understanding databases, structuring the database, building your tables within the database, and so on and so forth. And then you move into Python, which is another very fundamental language that would help you build your pipelines, your data pipelines that would move data from one location to the other location. You'd learn Linux for bash scripting. You'd learn building your ETL pipelines, connecting to different data sources like databases, APIs from websites, and so on and so forth. You'd learn Apache Spark, Apache Airflow for orchestration and scheduling, so that when you've built those pipelines, you don't need to always build every single time. The pipelines would run and extract the data in an automated manner that you have built and scheduled. You'd learn how to do that using Airflow, and you'd learn cloud engineering focused on what? AWS. And you'd also learn version control with GitHub and ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. Now, for the data engineering program, it's a bit longer than the data analytics and data science. You'd learn data engineering for 5 months, 3 months in class and 2 months internship. And this is because of the complexity of the project that you'll be working on. You'll be working on projects that would be so amazing, end-to-end project of building a data infrastructure to gather data from different sources and move that data into a data warehouse, where the data analyst, the data scientist would also get access to that data. So it's a cross-functional internship where you're not just working in isolation, you're working together with other stakeholders within that particular company. And this is how you learn. So when you're asked questions about, tell me a time, tell me the type of pipelines you built, what cloud engineering, what cloud platform are you familiar with? You can speak from a point of, haven't done it before, you've done it before. So you're not speaking from watching videos, you're not speaking from hypothetical situations. You speak from a point of knowledge and from a point of you haven't done this before. All right. Your classes are on Saturdays and Sundays, live classes on Saturdays, live classes on Sundays. All right. 4 p.m. to you have your classes 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. West African time, which is 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And on Sundays, starting from the month of March, you have your self-paced Watch Me Do It on Sundays as well. Okay, and that's for the data engineering. Now we move to Scrum, which is the second to the last program that we have for today. As a Scrum Master, you are the custodian of the Agile methodology. All right. So in project management, you have different project management methodologies. You have the waterfall, right? You have waterfall and you have agile. All right. Waterfall is very traditional. Okay. And it is also predictive. What does this mean? It means that when you embark on a project using the waterfall methodology, you must know everything, all the resources, what that project would start with and how it would end. Everything must be built. So a lot of time is spent on planning because you need to plan out your resources. You need to know the risk involved. You need to do every single thing because it is a start and finish project. And that's the waterfall methodology. And in today's world, in the tech ecosystem, the waterfall methodology cannot, thrive simply because most of the projects you've been working on should be what? Adaptive. And that is where agile comes into play. You work for companies that will be building products and deploying those products. The products are never perfectly finished. Most of the time, those companies building the products, your Instagrams, your WhatsApp, your mobile applications, they don't know all the features that will be embedded on that product at the end of the day. But what happens? They start the product, build the product, and deploy the product into the market. As users, as customers, we would work with that product, would download the application, would use it, and we give feedback to the company that designed that product. And from the feedback, they keep on doing what? Adapting the product, iterating the product until there is a fit for purpose product that can be deployed into the market. And that's why you see your WhatsApp, your Instagram always gets those regular updates. Today, WhatsApp cannot do a particular feature. Tomorrow, you can do screen sharing using WhatsApp. And these are the type of projects you are going to be involved in as a Scrum Master. And that's why Agile becomes very important. So a Scrum Master is that professional who does what? Who facilitates and ensures that the Agile framework is implemented on projects and the Scrum rules are also implemented on projects. So you can deploy those products that are fit for purpose and fit for the market. And that's why as Scrum Masters, you get your job a lot faster, you get paid a lot more than the conventional project manager. All right. So as a Scrum Master, you get to learn introduction to Scrum, the Scrum team artifacts and ceremonies. You need to know all the Scrum ceremonies that needs to happen. You need to know what increments are, the sprint backlog, the Scrum events, Nexus Scaled Scrum, which is simply you implementing Scrum on a scaled enterprise, scale, whereby you're not just working within the Scrum team. It is deploying Scrum across the entire enterprise. And of course, you'd also get preparation for the professional Scrum Master examination. How long does it take you to learn to become a Scrum Master? For 2 months. You get to learn for 1 month. You learn all these fundamentals for 1 month, and then you work on a project for 1 month. The same web application project that the business analysts would be building and project managing, you would be the Scrum Masters on that project. So it's a real world project where you have a software developer, a web developer, you'd work together and you will be the Scrum Master, ensuring that every single thing that needs to be done, your sprint planning, your sprint reviews are done the way they should be done until that project is delivered. All right. Your classes are on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And last but not the least is a cybersecurity program. And of course, as a cybersecurity analyst, what is your role in any organization? Your role is to ensure that you are able to protect the organization's computer systems, protect the organization's data, protect the organization's network from any attack, external and internal. All right. So a cybersecurity professional ensures that all the systems, the network, the data of an organization is protected at all costs. And that's your fundamental responsibility as a cybersecurity analyst. And what do you need to dive into cybersecurity? You start with the introduction. Of course, you need to understand the fundamentals, what cybersecurity is all about, why cybersecurity in the first place. You understand networking, which is very, very key. The foundations of computing and networking, information security principles, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography, cyber threats, attack vectors, network security, endpoint security, web application security, and cloud security. Today, we are in a world where everything is stored in the cloud. How do we also protect our systems and data that we have in the cloud? Incidents reporting and forensics. And last but not the least, cybersecurity policies and compliance. You learn all these skills. And how long will it take you? 4 months, 3 months, project-based classes, 1 month internship. You have the classes on Saturdays and Sundays. In the morning on Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Sundays, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And these are the set of skills that you need. So when you are competing and you want to get a remote job or you want to get a job, you are in Canada. Somebody said, I'm in Canada on a visitor visa. Can I apply to remote jobs? Absolutely. You can apply to remote jobs as a visitor anywhere across the globe. You can be in Nigeria. I've worked remotely for, I think, the past 4 years. I don't think I've ever been to an office working remotely. Okay, so how do you also compete to get jobs like that, to work remotely? Okay, I started working remotely largely during COVID, when COVID happened. All right, I was working for organizations in Nigeria, organizations in the US and the UK, and so on and so forth. Okay, so how do you also get those opportunities? The first thing is to get the skills. Without the skills and evidence showing your portfolio that has projects that you have worked on, you really would struggle to get jobs because so many other people are competing for those same jobs. And that's why you need a structured learning approach. You also need a project-based class, and you need an internship that helps you build your portfolio of projects. And that's what you need to convince potential employers that you can do the job for them. So all the programs comes with a free internship. And like I've explained, this makes your profile stand out from any other person. Somebody asked about the CV. We have our CV review sessions. Any program you register for, you have your CV review sessions where we show you how to tailor your CV to job applications. So when applying to jobs, you're not applying by using one CV to 100 jobs. You tailor every job application based on the requirements for that particular job. Your CV is always tweaked and designed to fit every single application that you put it out for, all right? And the internship, like I mentioned, is between 1 to 2 months, depending on the program that you're joining, and you have the opportunity to add this to your CV, all right? Now, why 10 analytics? And I'll tell you, for one reason you would want to be a part of 10 analytics is our track record of success. Okay, we've helped, in the last 4 years, we've been able to help over 2,000 people to get jobs across different regions. And our track record speaks for itself. The success stories speak for itself. Over the last 4 years, we've done phenomenal work, helping people that look like us, the Africans, the Black community, people outside the Black community to also get into the tech ecosystem. I have done it for over a decade. Ifemena has done the same. How do we bring our experience and our core strength within the technology ecosystem to help more people to transition? And that's our mission and what we've been doing for the last 4 years. So our achievement is phenomenal, helping people get jobs. That's number one reason. And that's the reason why anybody would want to transition. If you're moving to Canada, you are moving to the UK, you want to get a sponsored job, you're not going to get a sponsored job being an accountant. the chances of you getting that will be so limited, because accounting is not a career that is in high demand today. In fact, if you look at the World Economic Forum reports, the Future of Jobs reports, accounting, audits, and so many other roles within that same area would decline in demand in the next 5 years. Okay, so but the question is, how do I make myself more relevant? And this is where you start to add analytic skills to your accounting skills, to your auditing skills, to your finance skills, and so on. So you get to become a financial analyst, financial planning and analyst professional, and so on and so on. And that's where we do our best work at Tenalytics. Number 2 is the standard curriculum and amazing facilitators that we bring to bear. You'd see the curriculum I reeled out to you in the last few minutes. You have ChatGPT for analytics. You have the business analyst learning Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So you have a curriculum that is fit for purpose, that recruiters and the best organizations across the globe are currently looking for. Again, your learning is blended. We have a blended learning approach, whereby you have your live classes and you also have the watch me do it videos. So as a fast or slow learner, you still get to learn. All right. You don't have anybody who is lagging behind, because there are multiple layers of support systems that gets you ahead, where if you have a challenge, that challenge is addressed before the next class. And lastly is our sessions that helps you to get a job. And I'm just going to speak about that in the next 5 minutes, and we move into the costing and the prices for all the different programs. All right. We do our best work by helping you land a job in tech. And how have we been able to do this, and what has made us so successful? And we do this by positioning you in a 3-layered approach. The first approach, or we call it the first level, is where you have your CV review. We help you optimize your CV. We show you how to tailor your CV to job applications. So when you're applying to a job, you want to do what? Beat the ATS system. The ATS, the applicant tracking system. All right. How do you ensure that your CV would not be weeded out when you put in that application? So we show you how to optimize your CV, how to tailor your CV to job applications. We show you how to do something we call job matching. So once you've tailored your CV, how do you tell that your CV is ready to go for an application? All right. So we show you how to do all of this. We help you optimize your LinkedIn profile, and you also get Upwork optimization. Efemena showed us a few minutes ago how to get jobs on Upwork. So you have a full session that would help you create your Upwork profile. If you have a profile already, how do you optimize your Upwork profile so you can start getting freelance jobs? For those of you that want to work as a freelancer across different regions in the different programs you would have joined. Okay, navigating the job market session. Oh, I'm in Canada, I'm in Edmonton, I'm in Calgary, I'm in Ontario. How do you understand the job markets that you are trying to apply and get a job in? One thing you hear people say most of the time, which we at Tenalytics have been able to dispel, it is a common myth and it is a fallacy, is Canadian work experience. People will tell you that, oh, I need Canadian work experience before I can get a job. But Tenalytics participants who have never worked in Canada before, they move into Canada within 2 months, 3 months of being in Canada, they get a job as business analysts, as Scrum, as data analysts, as data scientists. They're able to get jobs. So if Canadian work experience is such a limiting factor, how are people getting jobs? And this is where we show you what you need to do. All right. What are the facts and what is myth? And how do you navigate your way around that? All right. We prepare you for interviews. When you get an interview, you need to know the right things to say. And without you having proper preparation for an interview, you are likely never going to get a job, especially within the major economies. In the UK, for example, what are recruiters looking for? What do they want to see in you? Confidence is number one. How do you build that confidence? You go into an interview in the UK, you go into an interview in Canada, and you are a bit shy or you are a bit too humble. You're not going to get that job. You want to show a lot of confidence, telling them that you are the best person for this job. And without you, the best thing they will do this year in 2024 is to hire you for that role. All right. You want to speak with that level of confidence, but how do you prepare to ensure that you are able to do that? And that's where the interview preparation becomes very important. You write the most compelling recommendation and reference letters to also support your job applications. And that's for level 1. Now we move to level 2, where you have your weekly mentorship sessions. Myself, Efemena, other industry experts would work with you every single week to help you understand the rudiments of breaking into tech. We take your questions, the burning questions that you have. So you have a mentor that will guide you. So what should take you 1 year to achieve, or 1 year or 1.5 years, would be significantly cut down to 3 to 4 months, because you have a mentor that would show you exactly what you need to do and what you must avoid to break into the tech ecosystem. And of course, we have on-the-job support. So let's assume you have gotten a job and you have certain things that you've gotten a job and you have certain things that look a bit strange to you on the role. Maybe you are given a project and that project looks confusing. You can come back to us, and for 1 month, would work with you to ensure that every single task you have on that job, for you to have a solid footing and for you to have a soft landing, we work with you to help you get that done. Also taking into cognizance data privacy issues and so on and so forth. And that's what we call on-the-job support. So when you complete your program, that's not the end. You have Tenalytics as a support system all through the way to ensure that you are able to keep that job and you get the job going. All right. And finally, one thing we are doing this year, 2024, is our promise to you. So once we put all this amazing stuff into play and you have all of this done for you, what does it translate into? And it's our promise to you, which is level 3. And this is where we guarantee you an interview 1 month after completing your training with us. So you complete your training with us 1 month after completing your training, we guarantee you a job interview, irrespective of where you are and the type of job you're trying to get. And this comes from what? All the different strategies we've put into place to ensure that we position you for success in the job market. And it also stems from the fact that this year, 2024, we also introduced something we call the body mentorship. You have professionals who have joined, and I'll be sharing their stories with you shortly. People who have joined our training, they've completed our training program, they've gotten jobs in the UK, in Canada, in the US, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in South Africa. They would come back and work with you as body mentors. All right. So it's easier for you to relate to somebody who has recently just achieved what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so you have those people come back to work with you, answer your questions. You can schedule meetings with them to ask questions and ensure that you are able to get answers to some of the burning questions that you have. We also have an improved and enhanced internship experience, especially with the data engineering and the business analysis, where we moved it from 1 month to 2 months based on the comprehensive nature of the projects that you'll be working on. And our recruitment agencies and partnerships across the UK, Canada, and the US, this is something we've also been able to achieve in the year 2024 with organizations like Robert Half, Hayes, Korn Ferry, to ensure that we are able to bring those interviews a bit closer to you. These agencies want talent to recommend to their clients that are sourcing for those talents. So how do we bring you closer to them to get those jobs? And this is where the interview becomes a lot more faster when you have Tenalytics behind you. All right. So the next cohort starts on the 2nd of March, 2024. The January cohorts commenced on the 6th. The February cohorts commenced on the 3rd of February. The March cohort commences on the 2nd of March. All right. And for those of you who be interested, what does it take for you to be in a 10 Analytics program? What investment do you need to make? And this is where I'll also be sharing the amazing discounts we have for you. And the discount is for the first 20 people that will be registering for the program. The first 20 people, we have an amazing discount for you. So for those registering for the data analytics, the business analysis, HR analytics, financial analytics, or the full stack data science, if you are registering for any of these programs, rather than paying $750, which is the full amount that gets you into the program, and you have every single thing in addition to the program, your CV, your LinkedIn, preparing you for the job market, rather than paying the full amount, you have a whopping $150 discount. So instead of paying $750, you get to pay $600. And by taking advantage of the discount, you have an additional advantage of making your payments in 2 installments. The first installment of $450, which gets you into the class, and then $150 1 month after your program must have commenced. And for those paying in pounds, instead of paying £625 to get into the program, you get a whopping £125 discount where you get to pay just £500, and you have the opportunity to also make the discounted amount in 2 installments of £375 and £125 1 month after the program must have commenced. All right. Now, for those joining the cybersecurity and data engineering programs, you also have amazing discounts available to you. And instead of paying $900, you get to pay $750, and you can make the payment in 2 installments of $550 and $200. If you're paying in pounds, instead of paying £750, you get to pay $625 and make the payment in 2 installments of £460 and £165 1 month after the program must have commenced. And lastly, for the Scrum Masters, for those interested in joining the Scrum Master program, you also have an amazing discount. Instead of paying the full amount of $450, you get to make a discounted fee, a payment of $350, paid in 2 installments of $250 and $100. The second payment comes in 1 month after the program must have commenced. And these are the amazing discounts we have available for you. And I'll show you what you need to do for those interested in making payments and joining the program. All right. And one thing I would also do is show you people that have joined. All right. Because success stories are always amazing. So people that have joined the program and have been able to succeed, how were they able to do it, and how the 10 Analytics helped them do it. So it always sounds impossible. Oh, I don't think it's possible to get a job, until you see people actually doing it. And that's when everybody else starts to follow. So we have amazing testimonials. All right. From Ini, who got a job after completing our data science program. He joined in October, completed his program in January, and got a job that same January when he completed the program. You have Ife, who joined us in April 2023. She completed her training in July and got a job as a business analyst in October 2023. You have Nathaniel, who joined us in July 2023, completed his program in October and got a job in December. What we've done is to also keep links to the video so that you listen to them and get to hear the amazing stuff they've been able to achieve and how they were able to achieve those things. All right. You have Kende. Kende currently works with the NHS in Southampton, full visa sponsorship in the UK, getting a job as an R&D specialist data analyst. She joined us in April 2023, completed our training in July that same year, and also got a job in October after completing the program. Okay, and we have so many other professionals, and I'm just going to play a video for you. I'll play the video from Olubemi, who is in Canada. Olubemi decided to move to Canada, and one thing that I think everybody needs to learn from Olubemi is the fact that he knew what he wanted. He didn't want to work in the warehouse. He didn't want to do Uber Eats. He didn't want to work in care. He wanted to ensure that he got a job as a data analyst when he moved to Canada. So he came to us and he was very specific about what he wanted. And we worked with him. He joined our data analytics program and he was able to land a job. 3 months after completing the program, he got a job as a business data analyst with a law depot in Canada. And today, he's moved from that role into a 6-figure role as a solutions analyst with one of the largest insurance companies in Canada. He's in Edmonton, Alberta, and Olubemi was able to achieve this. So we're going to listen to what Olubemi has to say and the role Tenalytics played in helping him achieve this particular job in Canada. And you have so many other professionals. Tosin getting a job as a fraud analyst in the UK. Benga getting a job in Poland as a business data analyst. Abigail also getting a job as a business analyst in Canada after working as a care worker in Canada. She came to Tenalytics, learned business analysis, and today she works with the government of Alberta. She works with the government of Alberta as a business analyst, where she also supervises 2 people that reports to her. And this is somebody that has never done business analysis before. You'd want to listen to Abigail and how she was able to achieve this. But let's listen to Olubemi very quickly. All right. And then I'll show you how you need to make payments and I'll show you what the platform looks like. And then we call it a day. So let's click on this and it takes us into YouTube.
Let me show you how we do stuff around here. Actually.
All right. Yes. Okay, so I want you to just sit back. It's a 3-minute video. Listen to Olubemi. You'd learn 1 or 2 things from him. How he was able to transition as a data analyst moving to Canada.
Hi, everyone. So my background, I studied chemistry up to master's degree level. Then you know Nigeria now. I found myself with the bank. So I did banking for about 4 years. And when I got my PPR in March, I knew I don't want to do marketing again when I come to Canada. Tired of targets. I want to switch to something new. So before then, I'd been taking some Udemy courses on data analysis. And I remember when I met Adiza, I told him, I know this data analysis. I just need something like an internship. And it was like, okay, just go through this course. It's going to help you own your skills. I still remember the exact words he used. So I joined the team. And then I actually discovered I don't know much. So because they didn't just go into the tool. They started with problem solving, which is actually very, very key. Knowing the why behind the tools you're using, knowing the why is very, very important, not just going into the tool. So we started with problem solving and then we moved to Excel. The Excel part really got me hooked and I felt like, wow, I really needed to do this. So I made a sacrifice. I knew I was going to leave Nigeria soon. So I resigned from my job to face it squarely. So aside from the weekend classes, I was doing extra learning and everything. And just about 2 weeks ago, before contacting Adeza, I had passed my aptitude test and first level interview with the company I applied to. So when they contacted me that I had been shortlisted for the technical interview, I quickly sent Adeza a message that, oh God, it don't happen though. How will you help your boy? So we actually spent over 1 hour together and he prepared me for the interview. Some of the questions he asked were repeated on the interview there. While some of them, there's a way you just tweak that answer you guys have prepared to the interviewer's question. There's a way, I don't know, there's a way that thing will just fit in. You won't know how, but there will be a way it will fit in. That thing has happened like twice now. I don't know how that has happened, but anything you've prepared, you will find a way of using it on that interview day. So we spent about 1 hour, 30 minutes, prepared me, gave me some materials to prepare with, and I did the interview. So they're not just going to leave you hanging after the session. They're going to help you prepare with interview. And when it got to the recommendation part, he wrote a really strong recommendation letter from, even seeing that recommendation letter, I will employ myself. It was really, really strong. And I remember I missed out this. After the technical interview, they gave me a case study to solve and return to them. I also contacted him, and he helped me look at some of the questions, and he gave me ideas, and I put that in and I submitted. 2 hours after the case study, they just sent me a mail to send me 3 references. To send them 3 references, so I quickly contacted him. He wrote that powerful reference for me, and today I got the job as a business data analyst here in Edmonton, Canada. So it's really beautiful and it's worth it, because if you look at the remuneration part, it's actually 1,000% of what I was earning in Canada. So to break it, what I was earning in Nigeria, I mean, to break it down is like times 10 of what I was earning back then in Nigeria. So it's really, really worth it. I started with analytics in April, and this is just September. So I don't think 6 months of sacrifice is too much to get to that next level, which I just started anyway. So thank you guys. That's all about me.
All right. So that's Olugbemi Akaribo, absolutely phenomenal gentleman. And I always like to share Olugbemi's story because it's a typical story of so many people that are trying to transition. And how did he start? He had a particular goal in mind. I want to learn this. I want to get a job. And he was able to get that shortly after moving to Canada. All right. And so many other professionals. I talked about Abigail. I'm not going to bore you with too many videos, but go ahead. When you receive the slides, click on the link, go to our YouTube. All the testimonials are there. The track record of people that have gotten jobs. Biola working with one of the largest financial giants in the UK after completing our data analytics program. You have Shade, who works as a data scientist after completing our data science program. You have Bernard, who is also in Canada, who secured a scholarship after we wrote a compelling reference and recommendation for him. After getting the scholarship, he also got a job as a data analyst. You have Zainab, who landed a job in Nigeria as a data manager after completing our data analytics. You have Ikmat, who works with the NHS as a data analyst. After she was out of work for 2 years, she was a stay-at-home mom taking care of her kids for 2 years, and then she decided to move back into the job market. She came to us, we worked with her, and she didn't just get a job, she got full visa sponsorship in the UK after completing our program. You have Patience, who also got a job as a data analyst. You have Sunday, who works as a regulatory data analyst as well in the UK. You have Chika, who is a financial analyst in the UK, and so on and so forth. There are too many of them, all right? So what you need to do is go to our YouTube, listen to the amazing testimonials of people that have been able to transition and get jobs within the space. So what I'll do very quickly is walk you through the payments, how you can make payments, and what you need to do to get registered. Okay, I like talking about Michael's story to Olamide. And the reason why I like talking about his story is simply because Olamide came to us from somebody who had been trying to get a job for 6 months in the UK. He was out of work. Now, the only thing we needed to do with Olamide was work on his CV, plus add Excel, Power BI, and SQL to his set of skills. Olamide already had skills as a business analyst, but the thing he was lacking was the data analytics component. So I advised Olamide, he did what? He joined the program, the business analysis. He learned Excel, Power BI, and SQL. We worked on his CV for him, and he was able to land a job. He joined us in sometime around July 2023, and by November, he got his job. And this is Olamide sending me a message. Hi, Adaiza, how are you doing? I got a job as a business data analyst. So he couldn't get a job as a business analyst. And I told him that, look, the reason why you're not getting the job is because you don't have Excel, Power BI, and SQL. He learned that by joining our program, and he was able to get a job as a business data analyst with U Energy, an energy company here in the UK, where he currently works as a business data analyst. All right. Thanks for your support these past months. I really appreciate. And of course, this is Olamide sending me a message again during the new year. Compliments of the season. This is wishing you a fruitful, fulfilling 2024. Thank you for being a helping hand for me this year. And this has been the story of so many people that have been a part of the 10 Analytics ecosystem. And you can also key into the same, I would say, stories and get the best possible results from your own journey. So kickstart the journey. The question is, what are you waiting for? Why have you not gotten your journey started? So for you to make payments, all you need to do is come to this particular link, click on the link, and it takes you into the enrollment center. The enrollment center is where you have access to all the details of the program. You have access to the program brochures. You can click here, get access to the brochures. So if you want the data, you want to see what the cybersecurity program is all about, you open up the cybersecurity brochure and you have access to all the content, what you learn, the specifics, the nitty-gritty of everything that, cybersecurity concerned within the brochure, all right? What are you going to learn in Introduction to Cybersecurity? You can read the brochure in detail, and that gives you a very good understanding of all the things that you need. So you have access to the program brochures in the enrollment center, and all you need to do to make payments, if you want to register for data analytics, let's assume I want to pay for data analytics. I click on the link and it takes me into the data analytics payments page. All right. It takes me in here and there is a minimum amount I can pay. Okay, there's a minimum amount I can pay. So now if you go back to the payment page, you'll notice that for data analytics, I need to make a minimum payment of what? $450 or £375. But I want to lock in my discount today. I want to be part of the first 20. I don't want to have to pay the full amount. I want to lock in my discount. All I need to do is I can pay the minimum fee. There's a minimum fee for you to pay to lock in your discount. So instead of paying £375, today I have £300. I just enter 300 into this space. I click on reserve a seat. Okay, I enter my full name, Adeza Suleiman, enter my email. All right, enter my phone number, and I click on pay with card. So I can pay with my credit card, I can pay with my debit card to be a part of the program. And once I enter my card details and I confirm payments, I'll receive an automated automated receipts into my email. The email would also contain a link for you to register all your details, which eventually gets you into the class itself. Now, once I have made the payment of £300 today, because that's the amount I have, I can then balance up the first installment of $375. So I've paid $300, meaning that I have a balance of $75 before the class starts. So you have about 2 weeks. The class starts on the 2nd of March. So you have about 2 weeks to complete the balance of $75, and that gets you into the class. So it doesn't matter where you are, if you're in Nigeria, you are in Ghana, you are in Sierra Leone, you are in Germany, Poland. Using the same link, you're going to get the fee that is tailored to your zone. And all you have to do is make payments with the same link, and that gets you into the program. All right. So once you click on the link, it shows you the amount based on your currency, and that gets you into the class. And this goes for all the other programs. If you are registering for cybersecurity, data engineering, just click on the link. It takes you into the enrollment center, the page. Enter the amount you'd like to pay. You want to pay the full amount? Absolutely fantastic. make the full amount, £625, click on reserve a seat, go ahead and make payment, and then it would send you the link for you to register. You get your receipt into the email you have provided, your phone number. It would be nice for you to enter your WhatsApp phone number so it's easy to also reach out to you for any further details and so on and so forth. And for those of you that would want to do a direct transfer to our bank account, you have access to do that using our pound account details. But it's a lot more seamless and easier for you to make payments using your card by just simply clicking on any of these links, and that gets you into one of the programs. Okay, so Ifemina is going to walk us through the program, what the platform looks like very quickly while we take questions. So if you have questions, please feel free, drop that into the chat and I'll take those questions while Ifemina would also walk us through what the platform looks like when you get to join any of our programs. One thing I also want to mention very quickly is, for those of you that might have questions around, okay, I'm not sure of the program to select, if I should go for cybersecurity or data engineering or data science or data analytics, what I'll advise you to do is secure your discounts, okay? Ensure that your slots is secured. Once you have done that, you then do what? When filling the form, you see the option that says, I need to speak with a professional. So where you're meant to select the program you have registered for, there's an option that says, I need to speak with a professional. Select that option and we will schedule a session with you whereby you have your questions asked. We will work with you to help you select the program that will be most ideal for you to help you navigate your career and your journey into the tech ecosystem. All right. So Ife, over to you.
All right. You guys, I'm pretty sure you guys have learned a lot today from our conversation, from how to get remote jobs and to all the things that these are talked about the courses that we have. And you see, that's the reason why you have to train with us, because it's better to follow the people that know room, okay, that know the way. Okay. So essentially, if you're looking to get to a particular destination, all right, if you want to get there faster, you need to ask people how you can actually get there. Essentially, that's exactly what we're trying to do. How do we get more Africans into the tech space? And that still leads us to the same question. And that's exactly what we've done today. So I'm pretty sure you've had a wonderful time. I'm just going to walk you through the platform, what we use, how we get your material sorted out, everything you need to know in order for you to be confident in our processes. Okay. So take, for example, I'm just going to go through the business analysis. Okay, so you can see all the courses here: business analysis, data science. It's literally the same thing. So I'm going to walk you through probably 2-3 courses so you have a full understanding of what you expect during the training program. So you have business analysis, for example, and you see everything is stored. And guess what, guys? No, I think I've mentioned it. You have lifetime access to all the materials that you see here. So once you go through the curriculum, once you go through the classes and everything, you have you have lifetime access, okay? Lifetime access to all the materials, to all the recordings of the classes, the materials, and all the things that you need in order for you to get started. So you see, I'm just going to take you down to classwork, down to the beginning. So you have the welcome address, the welcome kit. So once you make your payments now, okay, you get the welcome kit that tells you all the things that you need in order for you to get started, all the way from what you need to download. People asking questions, how do I know what to download and all that? So everything is discussed in the welcome kit, okay? Now, once you get the welcome kit, you see installations, how to download and install Microsoft Office, how to download Power BI, Windows users, the Mac users, how to also download and install PostgreSQL for your SQL classes. So literally, we are walking you through all the things you need in order for you to get started, in your course as a business analyst. All right. You have the onboarding and skills assessment. Essentially, this is a stage where we assess you. All right. And you see yourself that, okay, I really don't know this thing. Okay. That's the reason why I pay for this. All right. And the reason why we're starting with the skills assessment is very simple. So you can actually grade yourself that when I started, I never knew this. But now, 1 week, 2 weeks into the training program, I know how to answer certain questions confidently, and that's how you assess yourself, and that's how you grow confidence in the skills that you're learning. All right. So you have watch me do it videos. Okay. We talked about the watch me do it videos, which allows you to practice better at your own pace. All right. This is not a live class. This is you getting the recording of the classes and you learning at your own pace. Okay. Now you have the live classes. So you have the Excel class 1 and you have the Excel class 2. Okay. And these classes are, like I said, recorded. You have the full recording, you have the class recording, and I'm just going to see if I can play through some of the class recordings that you could see. So you see, this is one of the class recording. Okay. You have, this is C2402. So literally, these are the guys that started in February. This is the class that they have. And you can see it here, 3 hours plus recording for the first class. Okay. So every class is recorded and you get the full access and you get lifetime access to the materials and the videos and all the things you get from the class itself. Same thing, you have class 1 and you have Excel class 2. You have your assignment, you have the videos. You get all the things that you need in order for you to succeed in this particular course. Okay, so anything that you need, from the materials to the videos to all the things that will make you practice, that will get you more knowledgeable in the particular space. That's exactly what you're getting from the training program. Okay, so you see, this is literally this class started on the 3rd of February. Okay, on the 3rd of February, and you can see now, all right, as at the 7th of February, they have a presentation, a case study presentation. And I'm going to see if I will share this with you briefly, just so you see. So this is just a week of learning, all right? And these are the things that we have embedded in the curriculum to ensure that you are not just learning, all right? You are actually practicalizing all the things that you've learned. This is a week, 1 week of learning. Literally, this is it here, guys. Guys without no prior background, nothing. They started the class on when? The first class, the class recording was posted on the 3rd of February. That was when the class was done recording, and that's the first class. All right. And as at the 10th of February, okay, the 10th of February, they had a presentation case study. A case study was provided to them, and they were, asked to come up with recommendations and analysis and all that. And this was done by some group within the case study. And this is another group also doing their presentation. All right. And you can see everybody on the call trying to get access to it. And you see, these are people's presentation from the analysis. All right. From the analysis within a week of learning. All right. So these are the kind of things that you feel like is impossible to do, but that's the reason why we're here. That's the reason why we know what we're doing. All right. So the same thing with Power BI, they have an assignment and they also have a case study presentation. All right. So let's take a look at the case study. Okay. Class material, and I'm going to just see this is the case cross credits. All right. Cross credit.csv. This is the CSV file. I'm looking for the actual case study. This is the case study. All right. So let's take a look at the case study. As a business analyst, how would you use Power BI, to analyze data and come up with recommendations for the business? So the problem statement essentially, cross credit is at the pivotal juncture, all right, seeking to optimize its credit rate offerings. To achieve this with maximum efficiency, it must gain insight into customer behavior and credit utilization pattern. By leveraging this understanding, cross-credit aims to implement strategic adjustments that yield favorable outcomes for the company. So basically, this is now where you now start to use data to analyze, to look at how they can actually understand customer behavior and also credit utilization patterns from their customers. So this is literally the second week. So they started first week on Excel, second week on Power BI, and see the kind of case studies guys are working on already. Okay, and this is just business analysis. So they did SQL. They did SQL this weekend. So they had their SQL class today or yesterday. I mean, today's Sunday. Okay, they had their first class. Yes, well, Canadian time. I'm still in Saturday, so all right. They had their class today. Okay, and that's what you can see. You could see actually over here. All right. So they have their SQL class 2 also scheduled to hold very shortly. That's tomorrow, Sunday. All right. So let's take a look at another course, okay? Let's take a look at the Scrum Master also, okay? So if you're looking to get, this is the guys that started in February. The guys that literally started a couple of weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, okay? So you have the onboarding material, you have the week 1 material. So you see Introduction to Scrum, Class 1 and Class 2. So you have week 1, you have the drop-in session, you have the Introduction to Class 1, Introduction to Class 2, and everything is, you have access to all the recording. So even if you're a slow learner, all right, and it's not easy for you to, catch things up in a live class, you have access to the recording, all right, and you can definitely, watch at your own pace. You can, you can listen to it at your own pace. You can slow it up, you can increase you can increase the speed, whatever you want to do. So these are the things that you will access, these are the things you benefit from getting, real-time access to the materials and all that. So this week 1, week 2, okay, and currently in week 3 for the class itself. The guys are started in February. All right. Now, data science is the same thing, literally all the same thing, okay, in the sense that you have full-time access to the materials. You have the onboard materials, you have data science introduction, which we do with videos, you have introductory sessions, all right, and you have Excel for analytics, which is the first class. And let's take a look at the case study. Every class is a case study, it's case study based, all right, indicating that you're going to be learning, real life examples based off this, all right. So looking at this statistics for data science, okay, week 1 drop-in session, you have the mentorship sessions, interview simulation class, okay, data cleaning live class, all right, and you see everything is, really arranged in accordance to how you're going to be learning, all right. That's the same thing with data analytics and every other class that you have there, okay. So you see, those are the benefits of you going through a structured learning approach that will guarantee you a very favorable learning experience, okay, in the sense that you're not just learning how to use Excel, you're using Excel to solve a critical problem. Now, take a look at, let's say, the data analytics class, for example. All right, you have the Excel Live class 2. Let's take a look at the material. All right, and you see this, you're not just learning Excel, you're not just learning e-function, you're just not learning the functions in Excel. You're essentially using it to solve a critical problem. Now, you can see this particular one is a supply chain analysis case study. All right, supply chain. So you're using the Excel, the skills that you've learned to solve a problem in supply chain. All right, take for example, this case overview. You have been employed as a data and insight analyst in the supply chain department of a food production company, and the PLM, that's the physical logistic manager, uh, has asked you to, has asked you for some specific information from their supply chain return data. Well, first, how does the company work? Give a detailed, explanation on how the company work. Now, your task, what's your task? Total return amount of specific drivers and the total number of products returned in their names. All right, and that's what you're going to do. So you use the data to answer this particular question. You know why our data was actually explaining the role of a data analyst. You'll find out that you're always answering questions. Now, what kind of questions are you answering? Descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. And essentially, these are the things that you would use your data to answer. And guess what? This is literally live class 2. This is just a second live class in Microsoft Excel. The first live class is literally going to be based on data cleaning. So if I take a look at Excel class 1, all right, you see majority of the time you will, as a data analyst, you'll be cleaning up your data. You would have to clean your data. So you're going to be working with messy data, dirty data, and you need to clean it up. Now, looking at the live class 1, okay, you have been hired as a data analyst for a vehicle dealership in North London, UK, and you have been given a data set of the 56 different brands that are sold in the dealership, and you have been asked to compute the proportion of the actual quantity sold for each of the auto brands against the target. And these are the things that you would get to work with. All right. So everything, you'll notice that everything is case study based. And these case studies are not just random case studies that you can find on the internet. These are tailored made. These are life experiences that we have gone through, and we're using it as a learning material for people looking to transition into the tech space. So take, for example, this case study is Mohammed's case study. You'll see Mohammed here. Mohammed Suleiman, experienced data analyst that's worked with supply chain organizations in the US. He has worked with tech companies also in Nigeria. all right? And he's currently using that experience to teach people. So these are his own personal life experience that he's using to train other people looking to transition. And this is how you can leverage people's experience in getting started in the tech space. So you see, when they say the recruiters are looking for experience, and that's the reason why we walk through, the remote roles, how you can apply for remote roles and all that. So you can see that all the certification that you think that you need is really not important. So the time you're using to spend, the time you're spending on Google Analytics certification, or spending on IBM, Udacity, Udemy, really those certifications, you can go to those remote sites and you see none of those certifications or those certificates are important. What they are looking for is people with experience. Okay. So tell me about a time you've used Excel to solve a particular problem. Okay. All right, and tell me the impact of your analysis on the business. And that's where you come up with all these things. Oh, I remember we worked on a case study in supply chain using Excel. All right, and this was our analysis, and this was our insight, and this is how we impacted the business. It's as simple as that. Okay, you can easily just say that, okay, yes, I remember, working on the project with analytics. We worked on a supply chain analysis case study. For what? For a supply chain organization. Okay, so I worked directly with the physical logistic manager, and essentially the key problem was, we wanted to gain specific information from the supply chain return data. So basically, people were returning their products, and they wanted to understand why people are returning their products. Okay, and that's a life experience that you could use at any point in time to sell yourself as a data analyst. And that's the same thing with all the training programs, data engineering, data science. All right, I'll just put you through data engineering in a few seconds. I'm just going to go through one of the case study so you'll see for yourself that you're going to be learning based the case study. I'm just going to do Metro Bank. All right. Let me see. Metro Bank. This is Metro Bank case study. Okay. So this is a video. This is one of the watch me do it videos that you would get. So this is a case study that will allow you to work at your own pace. You will get to learn data engineering. You get to work on SQL at your own pace. So you can see me at the top right corner. All right. So I was working them through this particular case study, and this is a live case study also. All right, my own personal experience, and essentially what this case study is based off is you are a database administrator at Metro Bank, a regional bank that is expanding its services. The bank wants to manage customer information, accounts, and transaction efficiently using a database system. All of us, have been hired to build and deploy a relational database management system, all right, to solve this particular problem. So essentially, that's exactly where you come in. So now the case study is provided, there is a base for it, okay? So in the future, if you are looking to get into data engineering and you apply for a role, of a data engineer, they're asking you about your experience, you can easily talk about this as your own personal experience. Oh, I worked with analytics as a consultant, and we're working with one of the regional banks, back in Africa. And essentially, this bank we're trying to expand its services, and we're trying to, the bank wanted to manage its customer information, account transactions more efficiently using the relational database system. And essentially, what we did was to build a database management system. Okay, so you see it here. So this is the case study. This is the create statement. This is the alter statement. This is the insert statement that allows you to insert the data, all right, from CSV files into the database. Okay, and this is data upload and selection. So you see the data set. So you are going to be learning immersively, all right, from the case study that is provided in here. All right, and that's exactly what you go through for all your case studies. So you see, let's take a look at data modeling also. All right. And that's literally all the things. Sorry, just give me a second. All right. Data modeling. Okay. So you see, that's exactly every case study data modeling. So every class is an experience, is a new experience for you. All right. So you see this, this is a banking experience with a conglomerate, comprising multiple banks and extensive network of branches. And essentially, this is a case study that you have to work on. So you see, this is another case study. So you have one case study, gives you explanation of one, another case study that gives you a more refining case studies that gives you different perspective, different scenarios, allows you to expand your experience. So when I say when I tell you guys that, this is the best time for you to get started, this is literally the best time for you to get started in any of the career paths that you see on the screen. So if you're looking to get started, please secure your discounts now. Okay, secure your discount now. Get started now, and we'll be happy to work with you. Now, Adeza has walked us through the payments. I'm just going to show that again one last time. All right, so that we can just close on that note. All right. So bear in mind that we provide you with all the services, all the things that you need in order for you to get started. All right, every single thing you need, where to apply for jobs, how to apply for the jobs, job recommendations, everything that you need, CV review, LinkedIn optimization, reference letter, literally all the things that you need. The only thing hindering you from starting is, honestly, it's just you. All right. All right. So we're happy to get started with you, getting to work with you to see how you can also transition into the tech space. And guess what? You can also invite your friends, invite your family to get started. We'll work with you, work with your family, all right, and see how we can get started together. All right. Let me just look at the chat if we have any question. If I'm paying from Nigeria, how do I pay with a dollar card? You don't need the dollar card. You can actually just use your MasterCard to make the payment. So once you click on the link, the main stack link that you see on the screen, all right, it takes you to the page where you can actually make payments. So once you click on this, it's going to literally whatever course you're interested in, the price is going to come out in Naira, okay? So if we take, for example, you're interested in business analysis, once you click on business analysis, you would see it in Naira. Okay, and you would be able to make your payments in Naira. Okay, so you could use your MasterCard, you could use your Visa card, you could use your card essentially to make the payment. So you don't need the dollar card to make the payment. You can actually pay it in Naira. Okay. So basically, it is based on your region, the price is going to come out, the equivalent will come out in your region, and you could actually make the payment. So secure your discounts now, guys, because we have a lot of people that come back to say that, oh, I saw the discounts, I didn't have the money to pay that. Now I want to pay, and they're looking to pay the discounted amount. Now, guess what? Once, the 20 people, once you get the 20 people paid for each of the program, the price will revert back to the full amount that you see here. And now the full amount you can't pay in installments. You have to pay the full amount. All right. Only the discounted amount is allowed. You're allowed to pay in to installment. All right. So those are the critical things you need to have at the back of your mind getting started. And like Adeza has, put us through. All right. You don't need the full amount to secure your discount. All you need take for example, you are paying in dollars. You can actually pay $400 today and balance up the $50 before the start of the program, and we can actually get started. The same thing with data engineering. You could just secure your position now, all right, by paying that a certain amount in order for you to secure a discount, and you can get started from there. All right. So anyways, this is where we might have to draw the curtain. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask your questions. We are all here for it. Okay. And we're also going to be having a clarity session, next week, Tuesday and Thursday. All right. So we're going to be having a clarity session. If you have any other burning questions, you want to have a one-on-one conversation with myself, with Adeza, with any other expert within the team, we'll be happy to have you on board our clarity session. Okay. So we're happy to have that conversation with you to get it started. So if you have any burning question or you have any concerns, all right, we'll get to answer those questions during the clarity session. That's a one-on-one conversation with you. All right. So essentially, that's what we are going to be doing today. Okay. I'm going to hand over back to Adeza for him to just do like a closing remark, and thereafter we can call it a day from there. Cheers, guys.
All right. Thanks a lot for that, Ifemena. So I think we've come to the very end of our session today, and taking one of the things Ifemena has said is, what exactly is holding you back from getting started? January is gone, February is already past halfway, and before you know what is going on, March is here. All right. For those that start in March, by the month of June, you are done with your program, you are done with your internship. Half year, you start to apply to get to jobs. And between now and June, you see yourself in that role that you've always aspired to start, irrespective of where you are. All right. And that's the importance of starting early. Yesterday was the best time to start. Today is the next best time for you to get your journey into tech started. And if you ever have any questions for us, all you need to do is send us an email if you've ever received an email from us. Send us a message if you've ever received a WhatsApp message from us, or you're in the WhatsApp group, and you have people that are available to answer those questions as soon as they come in. Follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel. We have amazing content for you. And ensure that you also listen in, watch the amazing feedback and the amazing transitioning journey from so many other professionals that have been through our programs. All right. Recommend this to your colleagues, to your friends, your family members that you think can benefit from this as well. Everybody would have access to the recording, the slides, and everything we've discussed today. You'd have access to that. You will get an email. Yes, Ihaka is saying, I need to listen to it again and share. Absolutely, you will get the recording, and it would also be uploaded on our YouTube page and our YouTube channel. So it's important that you follow us on YouTube as well, so you have access to all the amazing content. Get started. I've been looking forward to seeing you in the class starting on the 2nd of March, and we help you get your journey into tech in 2024 started at an amazing, fantastic journey. All right. So thank you very much, guys. For those of you that have joined us, stay till the end. We deeply appreciate your time with us. We wish you a fantastic weekend ahead. And if you have more questions, please feel free. Join us during the clarity session. You would receive an email with a link. Secure your discount so that once we've helped you answer those questions, you don't get to find out that the 20 slots are gone. And that's why you need to secure your discounted slots. So the moment you want to make payment and you see that you don't have the discount available anymore, you can't make the discounted amount. So instead of paying $600, you see the $750. You know that the discount is off. All right. So the early people that are the early birds that take advantage would get access to the discounts and have their journey started. So have an amazing time, guys. Until we meet in another session, cheers, everybody. And we look forward to seeing you in class. Bye, everyone.